in a coma. She had been in it for months. Nurses were in her room giving her a sponge bath. One of them was washing her private area and noticed that there was a slight response on the monitor when she touched her. They tried it again and sure enough there was definite movement. They went to her husband and explained what happened, telling him, as crazy as this sounds, maybe a little oral stuff will do the trick and bring her out of the coma. The husband was skeptical, but they assured him that they'd close the curtains for privacy. The husband finally agreed and went into his wife's room. After a few minutes the woman's monitor flatlined, no pulse, no heart rate. The nurses run back into the room. "What happened?" they cried. The husband said, "I'm not sure, I think maybe she choked." "What?"
It's time for the best pubcast around. Grab a cold one, sit back, and enjoy the show. This is Corner Pub Sports.
Hey, this is Brett Myers, and listen to Corner Pub Sports.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Corner Pub Sports.
Fuck with my shit.
Yo. Corner Pub Sports coming at you here live on a Friday night. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching it on Threads. If you're watching on Threads, we thank you very much. You, of course, can join in the conversation. You can be a part of the show. It's going to be a fun one tonight. We got a very special guest. We'll get to that in a second. Of course, if you're downloading the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, there it is. We thank you guys so much for joining in and being a part of the show.
Honey, I got a hole in my shirt. Bring me the needle and some threads. Some threads. I need some threads.
Oh, my God. Dude, that's actually pretty good. I know I got to get used to the whole threads thing because
the opening of the show, a blowjob can cause cardiac arrest.
There you go.
Get it up.
Yeah, it can. Yeah. Who would have known? Polsky. Satchel. He puts out. What's going on, everybody? We thank you guys very much. Mike will be on the show. He's running a little behind. All right, but so before we get to that, I don't know what's going on there.
Mike's behind.
Mike's behind something.
Did we just become best friends? Yeah. Yep.
Driving down the freeway.
Tonight, we're going to have the author of this book right here that I'm holding in my hand, Murder on Federal Street. Sean Nam will be joining us tonight via phone. It's been a while since he had a phone interview, but this should be fun. I mean, the story is pretty messed up. It's about young boxer Tyrone Everette. Philadelphia boxer in the late 70s, up-and-comer.
Nasty.
Yeah, he was quick, man. He was out to be, he was going to be one of the up-and-comers, like, an Oscar De La Hoya type of boxer, man.
Nasty right hand.
And then he was murdered. So Sean took a deep dive into the backstory of this whole thing and unveiled some very interesting things. So we're going to get into that with Sean and his book tonight. I'm looking forward to this. In about 10 minutes, we'll be calling. Like I said, Mike will be on the show in a little bit. Polsky wants to know if he likes Rocky. You know what, Mark? That's actually a good question. We'll when he comes on, we'll have to ask that. Dave Peterson said, "Good day, gentlemen." Hello, Dave. Oh, that's the wrong thing. There we go. Hello, Dave.
Good day, mate.
What's up, brother? What's going on, man?
Good day,
Jay Parson, he remembers him. He remembers Tyrone Everette. So yeah, it shook South Philly, man. It really shook them to the core when this all went down. So this is going to be really interesting. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this conversation. If you don't know the story about Tyrone Everette, you're going to, and you're going to be intrigued, and you're going to want to hear more about it and read up on it. So should be pretty cool. All right, so we got to talk about what we're drinking. All right, I mean, I think that's the most important thing we talk about tonight. We drinking, Gary.
We got the Blue Moon Moon haze.
Moon Haze. Nice.
Yes,
It's a good beer.
it is.
We were drinking that earlier tonight. It had a little bit of cinnamon in it. I don't know how I felt about that. It was a little much for me, but it worked.
Yeah, it looked like chunks of fucking cheese floating in it.
Yeah, a little bit. Being that it was Gary's like, oh, it says July 31st, 2023 on the bottom. I said, yeah, that's the best buy. That means it's been brewed for like a year. It's been sitting on the shelf for almost a year.
Yeah, so the beer distributor said, hey, we better get this in the fridge.
Yeah, let's throw it in the fridge. Let's put this in the front and put it on sale.
Yeah.
Gary's like, I'm sold.
Yes.
Sold. Polsky said, bark at the moon, Gary.
Oh,
I'm drinking Old Faithful tonight. I'm doing the old Yingling lager. Slingling. Yeah.
Slingling.
Nah, like Polsky said, it's aged. It's fine. The beer's fine. It's
fine.
It's
fine.
But the first one you poured wasn't fine.
No,
There was like,
it had giblets in it.
yeah, there was all kinds of shit going on there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
there was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So Gary, you want to start things off with the Phils?
Absolutely. The Phils have been doing some good things recently. But after the All-Star break, this is where we need to see what the Phillies have got, what they're made of. Like we in the beginning, we had the where the pitching was doing good, but the bats weren't alive. Right before the All-Star break, we had good pitching and then we had good bats. So we need to continue that after the All-Star break. And the rumors are with the Phillies, we got playing the Padres tonight, but there's a star on their team that he may end up a Philly. Juan Soto. I mean, who would not love to have that guy here? Yeah, you're going to hear from the fans, well, we need back-end pitching, we need this, we need that. But, I mean, that guy, if you can get him on your team, like, my God, that would be good stuff. Like, right now they're playing, it's the top of the eighth. They're down 6-1. They're already on the third pitcher, and it just doesn't look good for them tonight. This is what you get from the Phillies. They have a great, solid road record, but their home record hasn't been good. So, and right before the All-Star break, what did they go to? 14 games straight on the road, which was great. That's great of them to do that. So we need them to continue to do that, but we need some more solid home wins. Like, just get good and win some games on the road, as you did win some games at home as you did on the road. I'm sorry, excuse me. So it's just tough to watch. They come home after the All-Star break and they're already struggling. Like, they're down 6-1 at the top of the eighth against abysmal San Diego Padres. So this is not a team that this is a team that you need to dominate against, especially on your home field. You got some solid pitchers on the mound. If you go up 6 runs and it's the top of the eighth, like our team should be able to compete with the batting that we have. But the bats have just been quiet tonight. You know what I mean? Like, we had halfway decent pitching tonight. You're only down 5 runs. So you got solid pitching, but you had the bats. There was no bats tonight. Where are they at? What are we going to do? You cannot continue to do this if you want to win a wild card. Like, we want guys to play in October. Like, we want our fans to be excited in September and October. And right now, it just looks hard it looks hard like they're going to be able to do that. But let's see what happens. Maybe they can. So,
Yeah. So what are you talking about? Like, the second half? Like, I'm sorry, I had to take the.
Yeah, like I was saying, like they won 14 straight road games, but their home games has been tough. If you want to win the wild card, right now that's what we're looking for. The wild card, you got to be able to win at home. You gotta.
Right.
And tonight it's abysmal. Like, it's bad. So we had that there with Sean Selby checking in with his opinion. We got a special guest calling in tonight, so that's who Sean's on the phone with. That's why he stepped away. So we'll see what happens, and let's go Phillies. So Sean's walking back in, and we're going to have our guest come on. This is a good guest. It's an interesting guest.
Absolutely. So, like I said to start off the show, we have a guest, this is gonna be pretty awesome. So I just finished reading this book. So Sean Nam is an author. He also writes for USA Today. He just released a book called Murder on Federal Street, which is the story of a young Philadelphia boxer, Tyrone Everette, and basically his career and the death of Tyrone Everette. Sean, can you hear us?
I can indeed.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Fantastic. So you're with myself and Gary, Sean and Gary, and then Mike will be joining in momentarily. Sean, we're so glad to have you on the show tonight, man. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely. So Sean, the book is interesting because like I'm 41. Okay, so I was born after this all occurred. Gary is a little older. I know there's a listener out here, Jay Parr, said he remembers this whole thing. And Gary, by the way, nice job. While I
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We have a listener, Jay Parr, who is absolutely in tune with this whole thing. He knows all about the situation, about the story about Tyrone Everette, but a lot of people don't. And I think that's kind of crazy because this is such an insane story on what had happened. So I'm trying to think of the best way to start this off, but I don't know, maybe like tell us about what got you intrigued with following the story of Tyrone Everette. How about that? I think that's a good way to start this off.
Yeah, well, so the story came to me. If you, Sean, you read the book, and if you read it cover to cover, you'll have read the foreword by a guy named Carlos Acevedo.
Yes.
Who,
excellent job too.
Excellent writer, good friend of mine who, was encouraging me to write a book, and he mentioned Tyrone Everette as a possibility. Now, I never heard of Tyrone Everette.
Mm-hmm.
I made cover boxing, but it was not a story I was familiar with at the time. But it's easy, it's easy to know why it would have been recommended as a topic. The guy was 24, arguably the most talented boxer in the Philadelphia boxing scene at the time in the 1970s, which was as you can tell from the subtitle, it was like a golden age for boxing at the time. And he was shot dead by his girlfriend in 1977 in May. But then 6 months before that, he had been involved in a title fight, which he lost, but a lot of people thought he won. And really kind of important people who were part of that event who believe that fight was fixed. If any of your listeners, viewers, or have watched HBO boxing over the years, you'll know the guy Harold Letterman was at that fight, and he thought it was the worst decision he had ever seen.
Yeah, he was taking on Alfredo Escalera.
Exactly.
In 76, and which is that still true, by the way? So that fight took place at the Spectrum, and to this day, is that still the highest attended Pennsylvania boxing match ever?
For indoors, yes.
Wow,
it is.
Wow.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of an incredible fact, and it speaks to his popularity, which is a funny thing to talk about because I'll talk to people in boxing, and they're not familiar with Tyrone Everette at all.
Mm-hmm.
And even fighters, I've interviewed like fighters from Philly over the years, and they're quick. I interview middleweights, welterweights, lightweights, smaller weight fighters who will rarely mention Tyrone Everette as kind of a stylistic or like a stylistic model for them. There's a impulse to name guys like Benny Briscoe, a lot of the middleweights who dominated that era. Ironically, Tyrone was part of the same kind of milieu, but it's funny. He's for whatever reason, and I think there's some logical reasons for this. He's just not a known quantity today. With that said, though, he's left behind a really kind of fever dream of a legacy. It's a really kind of a tabloid special. The trial that ensued after his death, involving the alleged perpetrator's girlfriend, Carolyn McKendrick,
Yes.
really took South Philadelphia by storm. I mean, you had a murderess who was alleging that she had caught Tyrone in bed with another man, who was also the witness, who also liked to cross-dress, was also
Whatever gets your nut.
apparently under the employ of Carolyn McKendrick as a drug pusher. So
yeah, and this is, again, keep in mind for everybody out there, this is the late 70s, right? So like, now you hear that now, you're like, all right, this is the late 70s where like that was crazy stuff back then, right? That was
right.
like,
And the mafia had their hands in what if they wanted a certain boxer to win, that boxer would win. If they wanted a certain boxer to lose, that boxer would lose.
Right. So, Sean definitely dives into that as well. I'm sorry, we probably just cut him off, but like, it's the truth. Like, the Black Mafia has a tie into this.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the mafia. I assume you mean like the Italian mob that was pulling strings in boxing, but that went on like in the 50s, early 60s. But by the early 60s, mid 60s, they had been rooted out. So it's interesting though, because that title fight, I mentioned that a lot of people thought it was fixed. Where it gets interesting is when you consider some of the figures that pop up during that title fight.
Right.
And a couple of those guys are actually holdovers from the Frankie Carbo era of boxing. Frankie Carbo was the gangster who really controlled the sport. And if people who know little about boxing will often talk about the mob and boxing, and that has to do with the things that Carbo was doing in that period. And by the time 1977, 1976 rolls around, a guy like Russell Peltz, the Hall of Fame promoter, basically thought the mob was a distant memory. It was some, and rightfully so. They had been successfully rooted out of the sport by the federal government. Carbo did time, and but so where it ties into Tyrone is in the figure of Blinky Palermo. I don't know if your listeners know him. If they've seen Raging Bull, there's a part in the movie where Jake LaMotta takes a dive against the fighter Billy Fox. That had been basically arranged by Palermo, and Palermo also had his talons in Sonny Liston.
I was stunned about, like, when I read that. I was stunned. I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. Like it kind of all ties together in some sick, twisted way. I was really surprised about that, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the talk about boxing and the mob can often take a cartoonish tone, but the fact is, these things did happen. Fighters took dive.
Right.
Fights were arranged; they were fixed to ensure a certain outcome. But so Palermo did time, but he eventually comes out of prison, and he starts getting back into boxing. you work in a industry for however many years, you're gonna have a lot of contacts. And Palermo was the Philadelphia. He oversaw Philadelphia, and so he knew all the guys there. And I had a guy, kind of a noted matchmaker, who referred to this cadre of old kind of Philly fight dudes as the Boys Club. And the Boys Club consisted of guys like Palermo, but it also consisted of another figure who pops up in the Tyrone story. Is a guy named Honest Bill Daly, who was an associate of Carbo and Palermo, but he was never indicted. So he kind of got away, and he started doing some stuff out in Puerto Rico, which is important. I can come back to that later. But yeah, so by the time this title fight comes around, there are reports that Blake Palermo has been spotted. Honest Bill Daly has been spotted. There's another figure here named Lou Tress. Now, Lou Tress is another member of this so-called Boys Club in Philadelphia. And Lou Tress is the Philly judge in that fight. The thing that really drove the promoter Russell Peltz up the wall and others in Tyrone's camp was the fact that this Philly judge had scored the fight against Tyrone. So he scored it for the Puerto Rican, the incumbent champion, Escalera. Now,
and the fight, like, clearly, the fight had gone Everett's way. To everybody everyone under the sun, right? Like New York Post, everybody was like, "No, we had it this way." The fight somehow was scored. It's like so easily.
It was,
yeah.
You count up the rounds. It was just hard to get to a place where you could say Escalera had won the majority of the rounds.
Yeah.
So did Everett? Was Everett in
out.
on the fix?
No.
So
Everett was not on the fix. No.
Okay. So did he know about it?
No.
Okay. So it's basically he fought his best, won the fight, but they scored it so that he lost because.
Yeah, Sean, that's Mike. Mike just joined the show, by the way.
How you doing, Sean?
Yeah. So he didn't get a chance to read the book yet. I'm actually landing it to him tonight. I actually passed it over to him, so that way he gets a chance to read it. But
yeah,
but he had some questions a little bit later. He definitely has some things he wants to ask you about a little bit later, general in boxing in general. But yeah, so he's generally just asking, did Tyrone have any hand in this thing? Like, did he have any,
I mean, listen, I if he did, it would be a huge surprise. As far as I know, that was not the case. I mean, the kid was devastated. There's no, basically, the fight, after that fight, there was a noticeable change in Tyrone. His manager and his promoter both kind of recalled like a sea change in attitude. Tyrone had been a guy who grew up in the slums of South Philadelphia. He was, in a kind of neighborhood gang at one point or another. But the point is, he associated with people from his part of the world. Even as he came up in the sports. So, he really never left the streets. I think that was always part of him. And you go to his fights, guys who were there would recall seeing really snazzily dressed men and women from South Philly going to the fights. And a lot of these people had kind of underworld dealings, but they formed a pretty big constituency for Tyrone, which again, outside of perhaps even Benny Briscoe, Tyrone had been drawing some of the biggest Gates in Philadelphia at the time.
Right.
It was another kind of fact that surprised me as I was doing the research for this. Was we don't know about this guy, but he was a big draw.
So Sean, we just got a text from a listener here listening live stream. He said, "Do you think the mob put the girlfriend up to kill him? Was it all a setup?" And that's so. I don't want you to give it away, but that's basically what this book kind of alludes to. I mean, there is a lot more to dig into this. It's I
mean, you got the mafia, transvestites, cross dressers.
Right, like is that whole what part of it true?
Like that's a whole issue of problems.
It's like a wicked Scooby-Doo episode.
And I don't want to give anything away. I'm sure Sean doesn't. But yeah, Mark. So Mark is the one who asked the question. Polsky, thank you very much for for the question. No, sorry, I didn't read the book. Of course not. No, that's what we're talking about. So Mark, that's it's a great question, and it's kind of what Sean dives into.
Yeah, and then I should clarify now. I've been talking about the kind of the remnants of the Italian mob who were involved in boxing, propping up in Tyrone's title fight. The Black Mafia, which forms part of the subtitle to the book, they're a completely different entity, as you might imagine, and they're the ones that are relevant to talk about Tyrone's death. And this is something that I think the book adds to. It's something new that the book adds to the Tyrone Everette narrative. It's either two things. You ask somebody who knows about Tyrone about him. The response is, he was a talented lightweight fighter, but also, it's framed as that guy who was involved with that other man in bed, and so that's kind of his legacy. If you talk to people who are familiar with Tyrone, is his supposed homosexuality.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No. I mean, the thing is, the family adamantly, as you might understand, denies.
Yeah, I mean, he was
that Tyrone was gay.
Yeah, he was a complete ladies' man. I mean, he had this swagger about him. He was and again, like Gary said, whatever. If that's what he, if he was, he was.
You're also talking in the 1970s in South Philadelphia as a black athlete.
Yeah,
even if you are gay, you got to deny it.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, he was a complete.
You can't admit it.
I mean, ladies would throw themselves at him.
You got to cover up what you really are. Is that possible? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive topic for the family, especially that has to deal with, these insinuations, whether they're true or not. Perhaps we'll never know. But that's his kind of legacy. Star-crossed boxer who may have been gay, who was messing around with a cross-dresser who peddled drugs on the side.
Yeah.
That's kind of, a fighter that some people thought, he could have beaten Duran. I don't know if that's not what I'm saying. Some people who are extremely partisan think that Tyrone could have been up there, a Hall of Fame fighter. But that's not what we think. That's not what we think. If you know anything about Tyrone, it's usually it's the tabloid stuff.
Like, I didn't look at any of that stuff. When I researched him, he had a nasty right hand. A nasty right hand.
Mm.
And he didn't like to get punched.
Absolutely.
He was in it to make money and get out.
Yes.
He was like, I don't like boxing, but I like making money, and he was good at what he was doing, and he liked getting hit.
Yeah, like I'm gonna make.
But he's quick.
Klitschko made a career of it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'll make you bleed before you hit me.
Yeah, and he had that swagger, right? And that was the other thing too that Sean mentions in his book is that, Tyrone had a swagger that didn't exactly fit with the South Philly persona.
Right.
That hard-nosed
Right.
blue collar, right? He was more of a Muhammad Ali type of thing, like boom, boom, and I'm now going to talk shit on you.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you a few times and then dance around you.
That's just how Bernard Hopkins was.
Yeah,
Like, that's just like how Bernard Hopkins.
That's
Yeah.
actually a good point, Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, Hopkins was a little bit of a showboat. But it's funny because you say that about Hopkins, but you think of Hopkins as blue collar.
Mhm.
Well, he would punch the shit out of you.
Yeah.
He would punch the piss out of you.
Right, but he was the same way. He
Yes.
would duck,
Yeah.
So and he would jabber.
So Sean, I got to ask, when you're doing this book, right, and you're going through your research, which is an incredible amount of research you've done for this. I mean, there's so many people you interview. Even the fact that you got to talk to McKendrick herself, which is after the fact, which is insane. But just in general, was there anybody that you tried to reach out to that really gave you a hard time and you tried and like, I got to get this person and just it didn't work out? Like, was there anyone that, or someone that did even work out?
Was there anybody you were scared to reach out to?
Yeah, like it just really gave you a hard time to get research for your book.
Yeah, there were a few people. Who I was just unable to get on the record. A few people who took a bit more effort to get anything of substance. I guess there were a few, let's say, people related to the Black Mafia that were not exactly willing to speak to me.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd almost be afraid to ask some of those guys. But
Still today, that neighborhood, that neighborhood where he was supposedly murdered, like that neighborhood today, that's a tough neighborhood.
This
like,
is
that's
interesting.
A rough area.
So Sean, one of our listeners here, Dave Peterson, said his uncle, George Lavrover, a Philly Hall of Fame boxer, always said he would break our elbows if we ever got into boxing because it was such a dirty business and it was going to cost you your life. That's wow. Wow. I mean, I guess like I'd have a hard time asking my kid to get in, go take some punches, right?
Yeah.
I would also
only in
recommend
America.
a different line of business.
Yeah.
Only in America.
So
yeah.
I just want to transition a little bit if we could. I mean, is there much more that we wanted to talk about?
I don't want to give a lot of stuff away on the book because
you got to read it.
Buy the book.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to give too much away on the book because, like,
stop asking me questions, you fuck. Buy the book.
No, but there's so much involved with the story of this book. Like, there's so many different things so many different branches that it takes. It's very intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, I just want to compliment before you get Mike gets to his question. Sean, I just want to compliment you because when I started reading it, I was about halfway through and I forgot that I was reading a nonfiction book.
Yeah, like that's a tough story.
No, but I forgot that I was reading a nonfiction book. I'm like, this is like something that sounds like it's made up. Like, but it more of a compliment to Sean is that he writes it in a way where you don't feel like you're reading a biography.
Keeps you
right?
interested.
Like you feel like you're reading an actual story being told to you. And Sean, hats off to you. I know you have a lot of experience writing, USA Today and so on. You did a phenomenal job with this book, and I just want to compliment you on that.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, my question is so I talked a little bit, I made reference to Klitschko. I'm not even sure if Klitschko is still the heavyweight champion.
I don't know. I don't know. And that's
he is not.
He is not.
He's
okay.
Certainly not. Yeah.
Okay. I know that he might even be kind of in the army.
Thank you, Jay Parr.
Yeah. He said he's going to buy a copy of the book.
So yeah, he might actually even be fighting in the with the army, Ukraine army right now, for all I know. But he was not somebody who liked to get hit. Very tactical. Just wasn't looking for a knockout. Was just just looking to, outwit, outbox, had a longer reach than everybody. He was just quick enough and did enough to kind of keep his distance. But what it did is it seemed to make the sport boring. And then you bring in MMA and you bring in other things, and boxing's kind of not in its heyday anymore. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that, because I know that you're still following it and still training. Like, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think could bring boxing back? Is there anybody that you think that's in the pipeline, or somebody that's flashy like an Ali or a Tyson, or somebody that's dynamic enough to kind of pull enough people in to make it more relevant?
Wow. Yeah, that's a perennial question.
Good question, Mike.
It's a favorite of, it seems like every year there's a column, about boxing's dying and this and that. I don't know if boxing will ever, not even that I don't know. I'm pretty sure boxing will never get back to where it once was in the national sporting consciousness. It just is not going to happen, for the same reasons that maybe, horse racing isn't a mainstream sport, and now they're saying baseball's dying. So I've heard.
The Phillies are dying right now, but anyway.
Yeah, they're not doing too well right now. Yeah.
There's a really good book called The Art of Boxing by a historian named Mike Silver. And one of the premises of the book is boxing structurally is not the same that it used to be, and hence it cannot be what it used to be. There are simply not enough. Just think about the grassroots. There's just not enough gyms anymore. There are not enough trainers. It's not as robust an industry as it used to be, say, in the 30s and 40s, when you had every, Tom, Dick, and Harry, fighting on the side. They were busting on the ports of, I don't know, whatever city, and then they would go and fight. And it was just a larger, more dynamic ecosystem. And what you're seeing today is the sport slowly losing bits and parts that used to be integral to it. And I don't know, there will always be, I think boxing will always be here. There's always going to be a notable name coming up. The sport right now has a guy named Gervonta Davis, who I think is probably, the biggest American name in the sport. He's selling out arenas on both coasts. It doesn't seem to matter where he goes. But in general, I just think the sport seems to be contracting, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have a more positive.
No.
I mean, it is. I
honest.
agree. It is what it is. I mean, I was hoping that there'd be something that had a chance to bring it back. I mean, I'll never forget. I was too young for Ali, but I'll never forget
Tyson.
I'll never forget like the gatherings. It was an event.
Yeah,
it was a Super Bowl.
yeah.
Tyson's fights. Somebody would rent it on pay-per-view, spend $150, and invite 20 people over to their house. It was like the Super Bowl.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know, though. I mean, there could always be a comeback. I, for one, honestly, I can't really get into the, we have a guest who comes on every once in a while, talks about the UFC. A good friend who really studies this sport and everything. I can't get into it. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. But boxing to me, always seemed more pure.
It seems like more of it's almost like more of an art. Like I get that
Yes.
there's more. I get that there's more involved and more.
Yeah.
But there's
you're limited, which makes it more of an art,
and
right? Yeah.
There's only 3-4 rounds. It's just a lot like it's
in UFC.
in
Yeah,
UFC,
yeah, yeah.
but in boxing, it's more of a marathon. It's like it's like watching like the 50-yard dash versus like a 200-yard hurdle or something. It's so yeah. I mean, I kind of
boxing.
I enjoyed
is the most
boxing.
crooked sport.
You know what's interesting though, Sean?
Boxing is more crooked than any sport out there.
But Sean brings that up, like in his book, he brings that up. So back in the 60s, right? Yeah, boxing's just skyrocketing.
Sure.
And again, I'm not giving anything away here, but it's just it's stats. It's what it is. And then you start to see like the decline, like because of things that happen. Boxing just starts taking those.
Well,
dives.
sure. I mean, if people think that things are fixed and everything, it's going to lose its.
Well, there's other reasons behind it, but like what Tyrone Everette though, all of a sudden that interest peaks up.
Yeah.
Right. Peaks up. You got this young fighter from South Phillies taking the East Coast by storm, and is challenging everybody and he's talking a lot of smack, and people are interested. Hey, guess what? Boxing's back on the map in Philly again.
Right.
And and you're selling at the Spectrum and stuff like that. So there was another question I wanted to ask you.
Well, while you're thinking of it, then I'll ask. So you're talking about Tyrone being taking Philly by storm, and I know that Hopkins. We talked about Hopkins as a great Philly fighter. Danny Garcia was good and really kind of arced. I think he's probably a little bit more on the downside now.
He is done now. Yeah.
But who's the next big Philly fighter, or is there anybody really now that Philly can hang their hats on? Because Philly's always been known as a boxing town.
You're looking at him right here.
You're way too old.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy who just fought in Atlantic City last Saturday named Tyrone Ennis. And a lot of people think he's not only the top Philly fighter at the moment, but they think he's going to be the next guy to really emerge as like a star in the sport.
Is he a heavyweight?
No, he's the welterweight. So he's in that division that Mayweather fought for a long time, and
which honestly might be a more interesting weight class anyway. These days,
it's
right?
interesting. Like I know that heavyweights, you put a heavyweight against a welterweight, a heavyweight's going to win just because of this pure power.
Yeah, but it's slower, right?
Right. It's definitely slower. It's definitely, which is kind of where I was also going to go is like, I guess who's your favorite heavyweight, and then who's your favorite, or like who do you think was the best heavyweight, and then I guess other than that, who's the best pure boxer? Is it Mayweather? Is Mayweather the best pure boxer that's ever boxed?
Are you asking Sean that question? Because that's
good.
That's actually a really good question.
Yeah,
good question.
That's a loaded question. We're putting you on the spot, Sean.
Well, I mean, you're following it. I mean, that's
I mean,
it's a great question.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say. I mean, I think Mayweather certainly in the past 20, 30 years, you can say that definitively. But the sport's been around. Like I was saying, the sport was actually more robust. Like in the 40s and 30s, and there's like a faction of people who think anybody from that era was basically just cannon fodder if they fought anybody from today. But I don't think that's exactly true. I don't know. I might have to plead the fifth on that one. Right?
No, I mean that's interesting because I mean that's
a tough one. That's a really
tough.
tough.
It's the same thing as like asking everybody who's the best basketball player. Everybody goes Jordan, but everybody's talking about what would Wilt and Russell do in this era.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be as good. And then the other people are like, oh my God, they would be just as dominant.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? If they had a 3-point line, do you know what they would be doing? Like it's that same mentality of like everybody's talking about the uber athletic people now and everything, but are they not giving enough credit to some of the guys that
Well,
paved the way.
I saw something recent. I saw, it's interesting you point that out because now we're talking about basketball, but look at two of the top 5 players today, Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. I mean, these guys, you see them do. There was I saw this video of Luka doing drills. He looked like an old man. He's going from cone to cone, and it looked like he was hobbled.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the most athletic guy, but
Yeah.
he's going to hang 38 on you. And
Yeah.
and so I've heard people, take that as, kind of a, I guess like a referendum on a guy like Larry Bird. Like, you think Larry Bird would have trouble if, maybe he's limited athletically, but
Mm-hmm. He's gonna shoot the
he
lights
could
out.
probably do this exactly.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good point. I mean, like I watched the finals and I watched Jokic, and I'm like,
well, same thing with Mayweather, right? Mayweather hung in the corner, but yet he's revered as one of the greatest of this era, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, you watch him, and you're like, what was so impressive about what he just did? Well, he never got hit.
yeah,
Like, the guy never took a hard punch. Like, he just knew, he was so smart, right? So there's different.
he was smart and he
Yeah.
was quick.
So Mark, I'm sorry, Mark Polsky brought up a great thing. I don't want to forget this, because this was a really good comment by him. He said boxing back then brought heroes to the limelight when jobs and economic worries were the biggest issues. Boxing heroes were something that people could look up to and forget about their worries when they were going to watch boxing matches. He's 100% right there.
Especially in the 70s in Philadelphia.
Absolutely right. And I think this book kind of captures that feeling, because it's South Philly. Obviously Philly has always been a blue collar area, but like especially South Philly, and you got this kid from that area who comes up
just punching the piss out of people.
Yeah, he's taking on everybody. He lost a few fights here and there,
Yeah.
but nothing horrible. I mean, it wasn't like he took a beating and was like, oh man, he's going to retire. There was some doubts here and there, but he came back and come back strong. That's what gave people a reprise and let's go. Like, we're back, and then Rocky came out. So there was another question too. Someone else, I think it was actually Mark who asked that. So Sean, were you a fan of the Rocky movie? And do you think that movie had an influence on those fighters around that time?
Am I a fan of the Rocky movies? Not really.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yes. Stop.
Yes.
Nothing
do you mean,
against
not really?
Sly Stallone or those guys, but no, I was never.
Thank you.
I could never call myself a fan. I'm sorry.
Was it just too Hollywood for you as a boxing fan?
No, all I know is that Sean and I are gonna have some beers. That's all I know, because yeah,
Sean, he's been waiting. Sean over here on this side has been waiting for years for just one glimmer of one person to actually agree with him that Rocky was.
Wait a minute. What, Sean?
Yeah.
You're from Philadelphia.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Sean Nam, are you from Philadelphia?
He's from Brooklyn, right? You're from
I
Brooklyn?
am not. Well, I live in Brooklyn. Yes.
Okay.
So he gets an excuse because to hate Rocky's un-Philadelphian.
That's
un-Philadelphian.
But Rocky was based on real boxers, and there's this whole notion that by giving Rocky a fictionalized character so much credit, you're doing a disservice to the real kind of boxers who made that city and came up, and you got Joe Frazier, and anyway.
Like, why is Rocky in front of Art Museum but Joe Frazier's statue isn't? Right? That's my.
You guys. I should be asking you that.
Right. That's don't get
Polsky.
I know. Thanks, Mark. And then there was a couple other questions here. Dave Peterson said, I live on the other side of the state. How can I get a copy of that book?
Well, a couple of ways. I mean, the book can be ordered through any bookstore.
Okay.
You can also just get it on Amazon if you use Amazon. That's a real easy way. But if you live near a local bookstore, If you live near Barnes and Noble, you can order the book through them as well.
Yeah, I see a Lifetime movie.
I know there are a couple of stores in Philadelphia that have the book. I'm afraid I'm
No,
forgetting the names.
he said Amazon's good. And I had another comment.
I guess it is. I mean, I haven't read the book, but it sounds like it could be made into a movie or a series.
I was just going to say that Phil Mikowski had a question.
Just give me your credit card number. I'll order it for you.
Put it right on the thread. Phil Mikowski had a question. He said, he said, in all seriousness, is this book available in audiobook?
No, it's not. I've had a
Okay.
couple of queries about an audiobook, but no, there is no audiobook version, at least at the moment.
I'll do it for you. You want me to do it for you? I'll record it.
Yeah,
Got a good
this,
voice.
this,
I mean,
this story could be a movie.
We'll work something out. I can do that for you. Add a little sound. No, I don't know how this audiobooks go, but yeah, I mean, do they have music in the background? Probably not. But whatever it is, I'll figure something out. I'll have the Rocky theme going in the background the whole for 3 hours as I'm reading a book.
there you go.
No, but seriously, like if you need, like if you're in a pinch, man, and you're starting to get, because like Morgan Freeman's not available, I'm your second choice.
I think James Earl Jones is ahead of you.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, everybody.
Isn't he dead?
No, he's not.
No!
Dead. James Earl Jones is not dead.
No, he shouldn't. What do you mean? Yes,
He's older than dirt, Mike.
We got guests.
Oh,
right now.
this is great.
He had his time.
Dave Peterson said,
You're old as dirt. You've had your time too.
Dave Peterson said, get Sylvester Stallone to do the audio.
Yeah. Welcome to Federal Street, y'all.
Yeah, but it's going to take 6 hours for him to read the book because he doesn't know how to read.
All right, moving on.
Yes, he does.
Sean, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
This is the way that it goes now. This is the way it normally goes.
Sean, what's your go-to drink, brother?
Oh, there you go. If you drink, Sean.
What's my go-to? I don't know if I really have one. I mean, I guess a good
You a whiskey guy?
I do like whiskey. I haven't been drinking whiskey in a while, but I do like whiskey. I usually, beer, some wine.
Nice.
Any favorite like beer, or like are you a craft guy, or are you just like a?
I do, but I'm not like I don't really I pick whatever's available.
Okay.
I see in front of me. I like Budweiser, really cold Budweiser. I like
whatever's cold.
Yeah, whatever's cold.
Yeah, it's got to be ice cold. Budweiser has to be ice cold. That's like the only way I'll drink it. And I mean, I'm not really particular.
Okay.
I'm
Nice.
afraid.
Sean, what if I read in audiobook fashion as Harry Callis, the great Phillies broadcaster?
Oh.
Tyrone Everette was born on April 18th, 1953. He's out of here. What do you think? Would that work or not? That's fine.
If that is something that Philly listeners will respond to, by all means.
If that promotes sales, then do it.
I just got a text. Oh my God, no. Tyrone Everette, young boxer coming up. No,
there's no way that you'd be able to pull that off for the full book.
Yes, I could. It'd take increments, but I could do that. Don't challenge me. Are you going to challenge me?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it just for fun and send it to Sean and be like, I'm not using this. But there's nothing. What am I supposed to do with this? This is 4 hours of nonsense.
This is Harry. Yeah, cross dressers in his room.
He was shot in the back of his head. But Sean, in all serious, I know it's hard to come back to seriousness, but murder on Federal Street, Tyrone Everette, the Black Mafia, fixed fights, and the last golden age of Philadelphia boxing. I had a great time reading the book over the last few weeks, and thank you, by the way, for sending me a copy of the
of course,
your autograph too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. I appreciate that. And of course, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show. And I know you got a lot going on, but I really appreciate it, man. This was really fun and entertaining and hopefully for all the listeners, educational. And hopefully they can go out and get your book and read it and learn more about Tyrone Everette, a Philadelphia boxer who probably should have been a legend. So
yeah, that's the big question. That's why it makes the story that much more tragic, I think. Because he had the potential to do some special things, but we'll never really know.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not giving anything away. I love the way you ended the book. By the way, I love the way you ended the book. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait. So I'm just saying that. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. You did a great job, man. And one more question. Was it the hard? Was it?
You said that 10 questions ago.
I know. Was it the? Because we've talked to we've been doing the show for 8 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We've had authors, writers, former athletes. Lenny Dykstra, former Philadelphia Philly, New York Met, right? He wrote a book. He said it was the hardest thing he had ever done in his life was writing a book. Would you agree with that, or do you think it kind of came easy to you?
I wouldn't say it was easy.
Oh wow, awesome. Okay, okay.
I don't think. I mean, I think anybody who kind of writes seriously, takes the craft seriously, will never tell you it's easy. Even the guys who were good. I don't know if I'm any good, but it certainly was not easy. Was it the hardest thing? Probably not, but it's a lot of work, and I had a lot of help. So I can't take all the credit, but I would say somewhere in between. Getting started can be the toughest thing for a lot of writers. I know it was for me. But at some point I kind of found a groove, and I got it done, I guess.
The reason why I ask you, it's been an idea that's been kicking around in my head for about a year and a half. This week I've had a conversation, and I might be starting a book.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
What the fuck are you going to write about?
Your life. No, I know. I got something in mind. I'm keeping it close to the vest.
Damn, I've never heard this.
I know. I never told you. I know. So I'm telling the world now, apparently. So
now you have to do it.
Yeah, I think I have to. No, it's not going to be a short story, Mark. All right. No. No.
500 pages of bullshit.
Mark had a question. How long did all the research take? That's a good question, Mark. Sorry, Sean. I know you're trying to get going, and these idiots.
No. The research. I would say the whole thing took close to 2 years, including the writing, and the interviewing and the research. Yeah, I would say about 2 years. It really helped.
I mean, that's honestly pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what it was. The bulk of this got done that first pandemic lockdown.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was really kind of a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
Would it have taken longer if we didn't have that kind of,
downtime?
Yeah, global breakdown in
Yeah.
societal norms. Probably, but it helped to just, it helped to just kind of focus, I would say.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Sean, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you taking the time and coming out. And before we let you go, if you don't mind, telling the listeners where they can find your stuff, and if they want to follow you on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, please, here's your time to plug away, man.
Yeah, well, you can. So I cover the sport mainly for a site at the moment called boxingscene.com. Could find I write there regularly. It's has nothing It only covers boxing, so unless you're interested in other sports, yeah. I also have a Twitter. I don't have any other social media except Twitter, which is Sean, and then it's PASBON. I believe that's it.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Well,
But thank you guys. I appreciate you. And this was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
absolutely. Thanks for taking the time out, man. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank
You
you,
guys
Sean.
take care.
All right.
Thanks,
You
brother.
too.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sean.
Awesome. That was fun, man. That was fun. Sean, joining the show tonight. That was cool, man. So it was hard because a lot of cool comments. Thank you, Sean, going on Amazon after the show to order the book. Thanks, Sean, from Mark. Yeah, it's hard because I don't want to give too much away.
Right.
There's a lot of branches to this story, and you can tell he had a hard time. I'm not going to say he's had a hard time, but he wanted to get into detail with.
But he didn't want to give it away either.
You don't want to give it away because there's a lot. And again, like I was halfway through the book going.
Was it a hard read because it went so many different ways?
No.
You were able to kind of keep up with all the different
so
things.
a couple times I had to like, wait, who's this? Oh, that's his manager. Oh, who's this? Oh, this is so and so. But he describes them like this person is this.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
so there's a lot of people involved. Yes, it's not fucking what's that goddamn show that everyone was into that on HBO? I couldn't fucking
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. It's not Game of Thrones. Like it's not like there's 8,000 houses and 17,000 people.
That was hard to like. I liked it, but that was hard to kind of.
Yeah, it's not like that. Or they're Cliff Notes. You don't need Cliff Notes, Mark. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it's 7 Dragons.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. But it's he like I said, I generally meant that compliment. It starts off and you're like, that's right. This is a real.
By the
story.
way, Ashley Sullivan, she can get it.
Yeah. But you start reading and you're like, oh,
she looks good in blue.
You're like, oh wait, this is a real story.
Because
he writes it in a certain way where you're like, it feels like you're reading a crime novel.
Yeah,
he does a nice job, and it goes to the career of Tyrone Everette, and then goes to the day that things happen.
Yeah, did you get a chance to read it? Or you just did some research on that?
No, he didn't. I just finished
Sean about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just finished the book. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I didn't get a chance. Polsky said, "Can I read it to him the next time he is over?"
It'll be a bedtime story.
Sure will. It's gonna. As Peltz tells it, he was destined for boxing. By the time of his bar mitzvah, he had memorized all the boxing encyclopedias he could get his hands on. How's that sound? Sounds so good? All right, Sean Nam, thank you very much. All right. By the way, sponsored tonight by BrownTown BBQ.
Nice.
If you have catering, it's summertime.
If you're in town, smell the brown.
That's right. If you're in the tri-state area, Philadelphia, Delaware, New Jersey, whatever, hit them up. Find them on Facebook. Hit up BrownTown BBQ. Hit up our page. You'll see advertisements all over our
Labor
page.
Day's coming up.
Labor Day's coming, right? Another month. Football season's coming. You got a big football season kickoff thing
Fantasy
going
football
on.
draft.
Yeah, fantasy. Oh, there you go. Fantasy. Oh, dude, I might have. Oh man, you might have just done something to me. I was gonna make burgers and hot dogs.
Now Sean's gonna cater the event.
I was gonna do.
Now our fee just went up another $50 fucking.
I was gonna do burgers and hot dogs. I might have to do BrownTown BBQ for my fantasy football draft. You should too.
Yeah, you say that, but
BrownTown BBQ, hit them up.
But you don't want an armadillo?
By the way, Gary, I didn't tell you, you're in my fantasy league this year.
Yes.
Everyone that comes has to pay a little fee towards the food. By the way, so
what the fuck?
What do you think? I'm paying for it all?
Oh, well, you should. You're hosting. You fuck.
I came in last place last year. Go fuck yourself. No, so
I give you $6.
Hit them up, BrownTown BBQ. All right, so Phillies. Before we move on to the Phillies, because we got a lot of stuff going on. Before we move on to the Phillies, they made a big call up this week, and like it kind of went under the radar. it went under the radar, and I don't think it should. But Johan Rojas was called up. He's the sixth prospect in the Philadelphia Phillies organization. He's been hitting 306, has 9 home runs, has 30 stolen bases. He's only 22 years old, and he's now playing in the major leagues. Johan Rojas, remember that name. So the reason being that it's important is because Bryce Harper's probably going to be playing first base this weekend against the Padres.
Something's got to give because Hall blows.
Schwarber is going to be playing DH. Left field's going to be open.
Yeah.
Right.
Rojas, no, left, Mike.
Who's on first?
That's where we squeeze in Juan Soto.
Who?
What?
Where?
What's on second?
Juan Soto.
Who's on? No,
Juan
he's
Soto.
on third.
No, Juan Soto.
No, he's on third.
No, he's not. Juan Soto.
He's on first.
No, he's cutting the grass.
What? Juan?
Yeah, he's cutting the grass.
He's in the infield.
Yeah, he's cutting the grass. He's using the John Deere.
If we get into Flyers hockey, I found an interesting article.
Yeah, we'll get into that too.
And it's about it gives a rundown of all the Flyers goaltenders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah, we got to talk about that tonight for sure. All right, so that's all I had on the Phillies. They're starting the second half, so we'll see how that goes. Before we move on to a subject, I got to write this down. All right, so apparently, I got to make sure this is right. Oh, and by the way, on cornerpodsports.net, there's a new shirt.
Yeah, I saw it.
Ricky!
Run, Ricky! Ricky Baker in love and memory.
What you hit me for?
Boys in the Hood. We got a Boys in the Hood shirt on cornerpodsports.net. What is wrong with us?
Because nothing.
Fucking animal bled over his mom's fucking couch. Thank God she had the plastic covers on.
Because we equate very well to Boys in the Hood.
Yeah,
Like,
we do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so
Just needed to get some cornmeal. He ends up dead.
there is a hotline, guys. I'm breaking this out right now. There is a hotline called Call & Oates
I think you texted us about this.
that
Yeah.
only plays Hall & Oates songs when you call.
Ball and scrotes.
It's 719-26 Oates.
Call it.
I'm going to find out right now while we're on the air if it's real or not.
Ball and scrotes.
Dude, if it's real, I'm going to fucking die. All right, 719 266 2837. Here we go. We're live. Let's see. It's Colorado Springs.
Welcome to Colin Oates, your emergency Hall and Oates helpline. To hear one-on-one, please press 1. To hear it go, please press 2.
It's a
To hear
bitch, girl.
man-eater, please press 3. To hear privatize, please press 4.
That's 4.
We I want to hear the rest.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a
We
play out?
gotta play fucking Hall & Oates. Dude, that's fucking hysterical.
What happens at the end of it?
I don't know. We got to clap though. So we got that playing in the background.
It's super loud.
This is fucking hysterical. Dude, I can't believe that Paulski's like, get the fuck out of here. This is real. That is Call & Oates, your emergency hotline.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
Mark it down the 108.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
it. All right, guys, here we go. Private. All right, so
See, it's all right now, but towards the end, all you do is clap like every 5
all right,
seconds.
enough of that. Jesus Christ.
Between her thighs, I
It's
swear
the
by
glue.
glue.
That's fantastic. Dude, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Where do you find this fucking shit?
I don't know. By the way, did you guys know why Barbie can't get pregnant?
She's a pig. That's why.
No, because Ken comes in a different box.
Oh.
Fuck with my ass, man. Shit.
All right. We're gonna get to a
It actually was pretty funny.
we're gonna get to a
How come you can't play chess in England?
why?
They don't have a queen.
Shut the fuck up!
Oh, that's pretty good.
messed
Guys,
up.
we're gonna have Polsky's dying. And this is why the aliens don't want to visit us for coffee. This is Peterson.
Seeming swallowing cocksucker
Oh,
of
shit.
the week. And this is why.
You cocksucker!
I'll punch you in the mouth.
This is gonna be fun. Debo Samuel is my
Oh,
SSCS of the week, which leads to other things. Debo Samuel hung up on Zach Gelb this week. So he called up the Zach Gelb show, wanted to talk to him.
Like he's still butthurt.
You know, did the whole thing. Zach Gelb's like, look, why don't we talk about this, the Eagles.
Debo doesn't want to talk about that.
Debo Samuel hung up on him. Hung up. So that sprung.
I wish we had Debo Samuel's phone number.
Yeah, right. That sprung one of our contributors, Pat, to write an article about how much the San Francisco players are still butthurt over the loss against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. That article has blown up. Okay, on our website, cornerpubsports.net, it has completely blown up.
That's awesome.
Like, I think I'm not exaggerating, guys. I'll show you the stats. Over the last 3 weeks, our website has hit 2.7 million people.
We've had a couple that have just
It's been
caught
nuts.
fire.
It's been
Yeah.
nuts. Like the Deshaun Jackson thing went nuts. This article went crazy. People are going nuts on our Facebook page, especially mainly on the Facebook page. A lot of San Francisco fans,
fuck them fucking guys.
San Francisco 40-winer fans are coming on our page and bash it. Oh, you guys, you're bitching about that, but you're still bitching about the field. Okay, well I'm gonna hit that one right off the bat.
We're not really bitching. Like we
Had the-
we
had the
haven't talked
fan-
about it. We haven't talked about it in months, and then all of a sudden there's a report that comes
Right.
out that
Go surf
the
and get
NFL
eaten by a
says
shark, you fucks.
Right after
You
the
fucking
game.
chip bags.
Right after the game, James Bradbury, right?
said it's not the field. If we were bitching about anything, we should still be bitching about the missed pass interference or the bullshit pass interference.
Well, no,
call.
he's the one, right? That was the main call.
Right.
Bradbury's like, nah, I held him, right? Immediately, right after
Yeah.
the game, I held him. After the game,
The ball was
the players
uncatchable,
like,
though.
yeah, the field kind of sucked, but
It's
we
not
both.
but wait a minute.
The players
You're-
but we both played on it.
You're in the Super Bowl. If you're holding and you don't get caught, then it's not a penalty. So it's a chance he needed to take.
He got caught.
Right, he got caught.
and he's like, hey,
Yeah, but you know what? That ball was uncatchable. That should not have been
Well,
called.
he shouldn't have held him then. You know what I mean? But
it is what it is, right?
All right. Well, anyway, moving on.
Granted,
lost by 3 points.
my argument is that that play should never that game should never came down to that play anyway. Like you allowed them to come up and down the field. Like you couldn't get a pass rush on Mahomes.
That's because Andy Reid adjusted and the cocksucking defensive coordinator didn't.
Any logical sports fan would say what you just said, right? Instead of taking your heart on your sleeve, and go, the field is the reason why we
got
lost.
nothing to do with
the
the
field's
field.
not why we like. Both teams played on the field.
Yes.
Right. The players took that same approach.
Yes.
Now, because both teams bitched about the fact that field sucked, both teams bitched. Granted, the Eagles' biggest threat on defense was their pass rush, and you neutralize that.
Right.
Right. But it doesn't matter. You should have found a way to get to him. Jonathan Gannon's a piece of shit. End of story. I blame Jonathan Gannon more than I blame the field.
Yes. He didn't adjust.
Would you agree with that? Like Jonathan Gannon didn't adjust at all.
Right.
Like find
I
ways.
think they got outclassed. I think they got outclassed and outcoached. They came out on fire and punched KC in the mouth, and then they had no answer when KC adjusted.
100%.
Because there was a difference in coaching. You're hoping that Sirianni takes that as a learning experience, and that we know what happened with Andy Reid when he played in the first couple Super Bowls.
But I mean, even Howie Roseman, he's seen it. Like he let players go and he made adjust. How did you lose that many players and you're better?
Well, I mean,
like on paper you're better.
He didn't see it. He had to financially he had to let the players go. I don't think that there was anybody, but yeah, I mean he he did a great job of restocking and putting them in a position which doesn't happen very often.
But but all things considered, yeah, you're 100% right. But when you look at the whole situation, I can't believe we're still talking about this 7 months later. But, and I got to be honest, like, I don't know, maybe because I had a lot of things going on in my life personally at that time. I still think the 2002 championship game takes precedence over that as a March loss. I know we were right there for a Super Bowl. Maybe
I thought we had a better chance on this one.
True.
But I think the fact
maybe
that we had
just
won
won a couple years ago, maybe that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because at the time we had never seen a Super Bowl in our lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that makes things a little easier, quote unquote, So yeah. But I know certain people like Pat really took this hard. I know Ryan took it hard.
Yeah.
Big time. He had a hard time coming over. I think he said this is worse to him than 2002.
No.
But I mean, it's just still shitty. It was still shitty the way things turned out. But you saw it coming. That was the other thing, though. You felt it coming. Halftime, you felt good. And then when they came out right off the halftime and scored,
dropped the ball. That's when I said, "Oh."
That was early in the game, though.
But still, I was just like, "Oh."
Well, Jalen Hurts completely redeemed himself after that. So people, that's the other thing too. Like people are still bad. Oh, well, he fumbled in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts scored a touchdown, then went for 2 and got it at the end of the game to bring them back and bring them within 3. Right? Like he willed himself in that game. Like he had one of the greatest performances by a quarterback in a Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Get the fuck out of here with that fumble.
Yeah, I agree. My only thing about, and it's not even the fumble, it's the ball slipped out of his hand. The ball bounced in a way that allowed
Polsky said Ryan's always hard.
That allowed KC to pick it up and score. Like the way that the ball bounces,
it sucks. Yeah.
The difference in the game is the bounce of a ball. Like it's always been, there's always a play or two in a game that changes a game.
Right.
And that was one of the plays. What if he doesn't turn that way? What if he turns a split second
earlier?
What
if he goes out of bounds?
What if he goes out of bounds?
Yeah.
What if the ball trickles out of bounds? What if the ball bounces back to him or bounces away to where an eagle falls on it?
Yeah.
And then you're like, there's
we're kind of backtracking a bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So we got to
but it's the truth.
Right.
What we just said, we just named a bunch of other things aside from the field. Okay. We as fans aren't blaming the field. We're blaming other things.
You know what else we're not doing?
Both teams played on the field.
Well, you know what else we're not doing? We're not saying
what's that, Mike?
We're not saying that KC didn't deserve it. We're not saying that they're a shit team or that we should have beat them or like
nobody. I never heard anybody say that. Oh, if the field was better, we would have beat them.
Maybe we did. Maybe it was. Maybe we do.
But no, I never heard anyone say that.
I mean, I think that if the field was better, but
true, yes.
But I'm not sitting here saying, oh, we would have beat them by double digits or oh, this and that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
We put 31 on that fucking defense.
Yeah,
35
or 35. It was 35.
It was 35. The final was 38-35.
No.
The NFC Championship game.
Oh,
it was 31-7. That's the final.
Yeah,
31-7.
Yeah.
We put 31.
I thought you were talking
on
about
that vaunted defense. The quarterback, last time I checked, doesn't play defense. Last time I checked, doesn't play. He doesn't play defense.
Now I know that there were a couple turnovers that led to some points and stuff like that.
I saw one guy go,
that.
"Oh, you guys were only up 14-7 in the first quarter."
So what?
Last time I checked, most games,
the team that's winning
ever. No. Most games that have ever been played ever in the history of sports are usually close in the beginning of the game.
It's hard to blow a team out.
Yeah, it was going to be 31-0 in the first quarter? Is that what's supposed to happen there?
Right.
It was only 14-7 in the first quarter. Right. We already put 2 touchdowns on your fucking defense.
Their problem
in the first quarter.
The entire season, everybody talked about how
they played a weak ass schedule.
They talked about it. Right. I'm getting to that. They talked about how dominant their defense is. Nobody ever gave the Eagles respect for how dominant their defense was.
They led the league in sacks.
Our defense came in there and they set the tone for that game.
No credit's given to Hassan Reddick for knocking Purdy out of the game, right?
Fucking Luli.
So, first of all, I think Purdy, I got to be honest with you, let me just 49ers fans, let me just tell you right now, Brock Purdy, your savior, isn't going to last 17 games this year. I'm going to say about 9 games in
He's their day one starter.
At the most, he will not be starting after.
He's not the second coming of Tom Brady.
After week 9, at the most, he will not be your starter.
They're going to knock him
because
out.
he's either going to suck ass because the league has a book out on him, or he's going to get hurt. One of the two. Now, getting hurt things kind of that can happen to anybody.
Right.
I'm more on the he's not good. He's dude. No one had a book on the guy. Everyone knows how he plays now. Don't give me this other Tom Brady thing. It's not going to happen. He's not.
He's
like,
no Nick Foles.
He's God. All joking aside, by week 9,
actually, you know what?
He's gone.
Nick Foles
Trey Lance is back in.
Nick Foles' first season, when he came in and lit it up a little bit, isn't a bad comparison for Brock Purdy.
That's actually not bad.
So maybe he is Nick Foles.
No, he's not.
But he didn't put up 27-2 either. You know what I mean? Nick Foles did that.
Yes, he did.
Nick Foles threw 7 touchdowns in the game. Brock
Yes.
Purdy never did that.
Mm.
Brock Purdy also had Christian McCaffrey, By the way, Christian McCaffrey's another one. That cocksucker has been healthy for 1 year in his entire career. You really expect Christian McCaffrey to be ready by December 3rd when the Eagles play them again? He's not going to be on the field. He's going to be on the IR again.
He's hurt again.
IR again.
He's hurt again.
He will be. Yeah, he actually did. He got hurt doing mini camps. Yeah, he got hurt again. No, I'm kidding. He probably did though. He probably did. Yeah, he broke his thumbnail. Dude, 49ers fans a week. Bottom line, you guys are the softest fan base I've ever I thought Vikings fans were soft. Holy shit, you guys took the cake.
Yeah.
We're 7 months from your head coach when the schedule came out. December. I can't wait. That was the first thing you went to? Kyle Shanahan, boy genius, went right to December 3rd. We're going to get a revenge. Oh, I hope that's your fucking Super Bowl. Oh, goodness gracious. I hope you guys are really, hope you guys really get fired up for that game and look past all the other opponents that you had before that when we're already coasting, by the way. As long as Jalen Hurts is healthy, we're coasting. We're good. December, we need to win 2 more games to get a clinch. That's it at that point, right? So get the fuck out of here. Just fuck you, 49ers fans. Fuck you. Fuck all you. 31-7. We beat the shit out of you. Your defense did not show up because our offensive line was actually a legit offensive line. You played a weak-ass schedule. And look, as much as I like the city, your fan base is weak.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nothing good comes from San Francisco.
Yes, they do.
San Francisco.
Yes, they do.
Metallica's from San Francisco.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. That's what he was saying. He was going to try to. There's a couple good things from San Francisco. The bridges are cool. I had a good time. Good
The
people.
Seals are cool.
Seals are cool. Yeah, Seals are cool. Metallica's good. Grateful Dead can suck a dick, but there's some good clubs, good hills. It was cool. Cool scenery. That little fucking building that lights up in the middle of the
cathedrals and
cathedral's cool. What's the one? What's the fucking bay at the Alcatraz? Right before that,
Alcatraz is cool.
The pier 52, whatever the fuck that's called.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Fisherman's Wharf.
That was cool.
Yeah.
The seals are there.
Yeah.
The squeals.
They were cool. It's not a bad seal, is it?
No, it's not that bad.
You seen some seals?
Yeah, see some seals. You see some seals?
You should have kept watching. So his fucking Great White would eat one of them. Fucking seals.
What is your problem? Why are you so angry?
I'm sorry, Mike. Sorry.
I'm
sorry. I don't like seals.
What?
I don't like 49ers. I don't like 49ers fans. The whole city is a piece of shit.
It's not, though.
Yes, it is.
You've never been there.
No, I haven't.
That saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you still need a stepladder to fuck it in the ass.
See, now you should have played that when we had Sean on and he was talking about horse racing dying.
I should have. All right, so
you mean horse racing's dying like this?
God damn it. I didn't get to play the song that I went to start off the show with because we start off and we're waiting for Mike and we had the phone calls coming in.
You know what? I like
No diggity?
Yeah.
no diggity. No
diggity.
All right, this is good because I'm going to talk about the NBA. Gary's going to fall asleep. Now, actually, this is interesting. I'm gonna see what you think about this.
Jesus Christ. Why are you going to ask him?
NBA in-season tournament has been announced.
It's happening?
This is happening in December. So the NBA has announced the first in-season tournament. It tips off, check this out. It tips off November 3rd with group play and concludes December 9th. It's a month long.
So they're like the season starts like they're like 10 games in. If that.
If even. I think
Yeah.
it just might even start. I think
This
it might
isn't
just
starting this
start.
year, right?
Yeah,
This
this is just going to start everything. The groups were decided on a random draw during the NBA today on last Saturday. Group A is the Sixers, Cavaliers, Hawks, Pacers, and Pistons.
Is this year?
It's taking place this year. Group B will be the Bucks, Knicks, Heat, Wizards, and Hornets. Group C is the Celtics, Nets,
This is fucking November.
Raptors,
Man. What's this November madness?
Bulls, Magic, right? West. Fine. Do I even care? Do we even care? All right, we're gonna move on.
What's the point?
Group play is going to begin on November 3rd. All games will count towards regular season records and stats. All right,
Okay.
so they're going to, the games will count.
Okay.
Each team will play 4 group games, 2 home games, and 2 road games.
Okay.
Group play games will be held only on Tuesdays and Fridays in November, except for November 7th, which is Election Day. No games will be held. The group play schedule. The group play schedule will be released next month in August. The team with the best record in each group and 2 wildcard teams will advance to the knockout stage. The wild cards will then be the team in each conference that finished with the best record in group play, but was second in its group.
Right. Okay.
The knockout round will consist of single elimination quarterfinals on December 4th and 5th. So now that's kind of cool. Like one game, boom, in and out.
Okay.
The semifinals and championship will be held at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on December 7th and 9th.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Championship game is the only game that will not count towards regular season records and statistics. So every other game heading into that will go towards your record and stats will count. But it's just that you're in season tournament.
Right.
It's almost like,
And then the championship won't count for any stats. Why?
I don't know.
So what's what,
Because for the 2 teams that will count as game. Oh, that's why. Because for the 2 teams that play, it counts as game 83, one more than any other team's 82 game. So they don't want an extra game. Because think about it, record books. You're playing an extra game during the season.
Okay, but you're still playing the game, and you still could get injured in that game. All right, so taking that aside, so I guess other teams, even if they're not in the semifinals, are playing some like other like ratings bullshit games or whatever.
Right.
All right, so what the fuck do you get out of this?
So teams that don't advance to the knockout round will play 2 additional games on December 6th and 8th to fill out their 82-game schedule to make up for those 2 games. Who the fuck are they going to play? I don't know.
Okay.
The teams that lose in the quarterfinals of the knockout round will play 1 additional regular season game on December 8th. A prize pool will be allocated to teams advancing to the knockout round, and the champion earns the NBA Cup trophy. An MVP of the in-season tournament will be named along with an all-tournament team based on the performance throughout the group and knockout rounds. Let's make this as complicated as fucking possible. We are now entering the MLS, the Major League or fucking World Cup soccer, football bullshit of the world.
Okay, but like, what does somebody get out of it?
All right, I gotta be honest with you.
Does that like get an automatic playoff berth if they win? Or
No, you just get a cup. You just get a
you just get a trophy in the middle of the season?
You get a cup.
A cup and 2 girls.
I gotta be a cup and 2 girls. I gotta be honest.
Seen 2 girls in a cup?
I'm not against this only because I think the regular season sucks. And we had that we went viral with our TikTok video saying things are overrated because I said the NBA regular season is overrated. It was one of the things. And Merrill Reese and all the other shit that people were saying. Charles Barkley and all this other shit, Shaq. But Wawa. For all these things we were saying are overrated. One of the things I said was the NBA regular season is overrated. I think it's true.
I'll tell you what. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
If I'm an NBA team, right?
Yeah.
You got an 82 game season. The 82 games matter. All of them matter. So the tournament games matter because they count against the records. Championship game, I may play my scrubs. I don't give a fuck about the trophy.
Yeah, what do you give a fuck about
that 83rd game doesn't count for my record.
Wait, you mean you don't care about the
getting a cup, a trophy?
You don't care about the cup?
No.
What?
No, I don't think that's it's not an NBA, it's not an NBA championship.
No. I gotta be honest. I kind of
like what do you want Embiid getting hurt playing in a meaningless 83rd game? Or
he's gonna get hurt regardless.
Shut the fuck up, Gary.
Shut up, Donnie. You're out of your element. I should put that on the fucking soundboard. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're out of your element.
What's that? What's that from?
Big Lebowski.
I didn't see it.
Shut up, Donnie. You're out of your element.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's one championship in the season.
Over the line.
There's one championship in a major sports season. There's not two. There's one. Like what are we doing here?
Sometimes when I wipe, I'll wipe and I'll wipe and I'll wipe and I'll wipe 100 times. Still poop.
I think that's what Mike's trying to say. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't think so, but I mean, if you're saying that playing these games is poop, then sure.
God damn it!
What?
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I find it along the way.
I think Mike's saying this. He doesn't like the NBA in the tournament thing.
No, I don't like it. Not even a little bit.
He's stupid.
You're saying stupid.
There's no reason for it.
Agreed. Like I get you're drumming up interest in the middle of a season that nobody cares about. But
and that's the thing. That's where I'm at. But what the fuck? What's the point? What's the point, right? I see what you're saying. You like that? You like the chart? I like the chart too.
Like, are they gonna is there gonna be a parade? You're gonna be spraying champagne? You got a game in 2 fucking days.
Yeah. Oh, we won the December tournament.
You're not gonna be having a parade in December, like fucking freezing your ass off, fucking waving and shit.
Yeah.
With tens of fans cheering you on.
Maybe the Sixers will win that cup, and they'll hang a fucking banner for that.
I don't fucking care.
And people, I won MVP. See, Ryan's not here. I won MVP last year. Now I won the cup, and
See if he answers.
I'm a Hall of Famer, and I'm a Hall of Famer now.
Cole.
I ain't calling. He's in Virginia.
So what?
He's fucking his uncle.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
All right. I know. And real quick, before we move on from the Sixers, Paul Reed.
My ride's going to be here in 5 minutes.
Why bring back Paul Reed?
I like it.
Do you?
Yes.
What does that fit for the other 2 guys that they signed?
I have no problem with them bringing back Paul Reed. I had the problem with the moves before that.
The Harrell move doesn't make any sense at all.
Why would you bring
Zero
Why would you
sense.
bring up Montrezl Harrell if you're going to re-sign Paul Reed? Now you have Bamba.
I talked about the fact that he's got a different game.
First of
I
all, Gary,
guess-
hold on. I'm sorry, Gary. Why do you call Uber now? Uber's come at midnight. Like, why are you calling Uber now? Cancel it.
I don't want to.
Why do you do that every time?
Well, I mean, it's 10 o'clock.
So what? We go until 10:30 every fucking week.
Not tonight.
Every other week. You call your Uber early. Why?
Oh, I didn't, because Ryan took me home last 2 times.
Every other time you call
Then
Uber.
Mike took me home.
Am I wrong?
I ain't doing it.
Every time you call Uber, you call them early.
That's the daughter. Now you need a ride? Yeah.
Yeah. Call it 11. We're hanging out.
I'm not staying till 11.
Why?
Because I don't want to.
What, you're going to fall asleep?
No. Look at me. I'm a fucking sweaty mess.
You're a sweaty mess at 5 o'clock. What's the difference
True.
between now?
Yeah, wait a minute. You get here at 5 o'clock. You're sitting outside. You're in a cold air conditioning now. That's a
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come up with a better one.
This man smelled like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, 4 shots of Everclear alcohol, and regret.
It's true.
The fuck?
I'll take it. Calm your tits.
No.
Yeah.
I want you here with me.
I've been here with you since 5 o'clock.
I wanted you to stay with me tonight.
Stay.
Stay.
Help me
Just
to
stay.
I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberry.
Sometimes I wonder if Sean just kind of
By accident, but I haven't played that one in a while, though. Oh, Jay said it's because we're talking basketball. That's why you're leaving.
But we eventually, I want to talk goaltenders, and you're not going to be here for
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna miss that. And
You're
gonna
not
miss,
sorry.
And I have good while you were drunk. I have good. I have good while.
I'm staying. I got here 15 minutes late. You're leaving an hour early.
I have good while you were drunk tonight
All
too.
right.
I have good ones. All right, so yeah, the Martrez Harrell thing makes no sense. If you're gonna say ma 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 bamba, and we're gonna call him that ma 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 ma
That's
bamba
fine.
for the rest of the year.
Okay, cool. He's got a different game. He's more of a stretch player,
He's still a center.
right?
He's
But
still-
there's you carry 3
You're
centers.
trying to, so someone I was talking to said, well, no, that's not the plan. They're gonna have Paul Reed and beat on the floor at the same time,
I actually heard Mo Bamba and
or both. Yeah,
but
or both.
anyway,
Okay. Here's my big right. All right. See you, Garrett. All right, Garrett. All right, now I'm on break. See you, man. You're gonna finish that rest of that fucking beer before you go? Leave it.
that's sediment. That's sediment you drink on every other beer.
Yeah, you don't even know it. You drink it every other time. Drink it. I'll come in it. You
Jesus
drink it then?
Christ.
Let me come in it. Yeah, all right,
I'm coming day and night.
Anyway, yeah. So Mo Bamba is more of a stretch center.
Where's that fucking? Go ahead.
Reed is more of a rebounding defensive.
There it is. Right in that beer. I haven't played that in a while.
But Bamba's more of a stretch center, and Reed's more of a traditional kind of defensive rebounding. So against different teams and different schemes, I could see that. Harrell sucked.
Yeah, he was terrible.
The only thing that Harrell might bring is a veteran presence.
And his dreads.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Big old dick. That's about it.
Maybe. So I mean, maybe
Jay's hard.
I guess maybe for maybe for a veteran presence and a minimum deal. Okay, if you need 4 centers. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like, what are they? All right, so here's my big right.
Or Embiid, when he has a day where he doesn't play, maybe Harrell gets his minutes in.
For the last few years, the Sixers have invested a lot of time and money in big men, right? Horford, Dwight Howard. Who's the other one we had?
Dedmon.
Yeah, Andre Drummond. Yeah, Drummond. And now this year, you have Mbamba. Mbamba. And then bring back
Harrell. Yeah.
And now, and Paul Reed, you bring back, which I could see Paul Reed being a power forward. I could see Paul Reed more so as a power forward, and maybe Mo Bamba. That's fine. Mo Bamba as a power forward.
Yeah, I mean the Harrell thing, is annoying.
He was terrible last year.
Yeah.
He's like fucking 6'9". Like, you're not a center.
I don't get it. But whatever the case is, so
I'm sorry. So my biggest gripe though, that's $8 million you spent on Paul Reed. If you wanted to sign Obama and you want to sign Harrell, okay, but you did, and then it's another $8 million on top of that. where you need shooters on this fucking team. You have no shooters. Korkmaz is gone, right? He's gone. Not that he was much of a factor last year anyway. He's gone.
Niang's gone.
Niang's gone, which at times he was huge.
Yeah.
There's talk of them bringing back Danny Green.
Oof.
Yeah, was he 48?
Yeah.
You're gonna bring him back? That's your son. Like that's your plan. I spend that money on shooters. Stop investing on all these big men in the front. The NBA has fucking changed. It's changed. It's an outside game. Build on the outside. You already have your inside guy.
Yeah, I hear you, but
you need one backup guy for Embiid. You don't need a star backup guy for Embiid. You need a backup guy to take 8 minutes a game. Do you
yeah,
really?
but you seen what happened. We lost the Toronto series because we didn't have a backup big man.
Most teams in the league don't even have a starting big man that can compete with Embiid.
Understood. But they have enough depth to where they dominate.
Okay, that's fine. So why not use that money instead to build up your bench as opposed to worried so much about backing up Embiid? Where you can now be the team that has that depth.
But I think that they went cheap for years on the backup big man.
They didn't.
Drummond wasn't expensive.
It doesn't.
Howard wasn't expensive. They haven't spent
Harold
a lot
wasn't
on
one. Drummond. Horford was. Horford was their fucking.
Well, all right. Horford was a fucking disaster.
That fucking handcuffed them for like 3 years.
Horford was a disaster. Yeah. Well, it handcuffed them this year. That's how I think we lost the first round draft pick or something.
Yeah, it did.
So Horford was a disaster, but
him and his fucking pig sister.
Yeah, fuck her.
Jason, you guys drove Gary away.
Yeah.
With your basketball talk. Oh well, fuck him. Fuck him.
It is funny that like the second that you brought up basketball, he ordered the Uber though.
Oh yeah, it's all power.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
It's all power.
We should talk basketball to start with, and then screw him over so that he's stuck every week.
I got it live audio from Gary. He just called me. So.
Never rub another man's rhubarb.
So yeah, I mean, I don't get. I think that Paul Reed is good enough. I like him as a backup center. I think he's. I do too. And I think.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
a backup center probably
he's
young
in
and developing.
Year 3 or year 4. He's around,
that's developing. I think that.
Yeah.
I think he's probably a $6 to $8 million player.
That's fair. I had no problem with them re-signing Paul Reed. That's not my problem.
Harold, I don't love Mo Bamba. I guess if they got him cheap enough, but anyway, did you hear how they screwed over the Sixers on that deal?
No.
Did you hear? Like
no,
you didn't hear this?
No.
Danny Ainge, that motherfucker, is
I
with the Jazz.
I didn't hear this. No.
Right?
He's with the Jazz now?
Yeah.
Signed Utah Jizz. He's with
signed
the Utah
Paul
Jizz.
Reed or gave Paul Reed.
I'm coming day and night.
A deal for $8 million with a player option for years 2 and 3, I think, if the team makes the second round of the playoffs. Not the conference semifinals, the second round of the playoffs. He set it up to where the Jazz probably aren't making it and he can release them. But if the Sixers have to match the salary, they're stuck with him another year. He did it so that the Sixers had to think long and hard on whether they wanted to commit to it. That motherfucker's still fucking us. I fucking hate him.
Just to fuck the
I
Sixers
fucking
up.
hate him.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
but
guess what? The Sixers are dumb enough to fall for it again. Like I'd be like, you know what? Have them. You know what? Fuck it. Have them. We got Mbamba. We got Harrell. We'll figure it out. Fuck them.
But he's so young.
I know.
But-
So is Mbamba though.
Is he?
Mbamba's only 22 or 23 years old.
No.
Yeah, he's young too. Like,
Okay. But anyway.
God damn him. Fuck. God.
But you know he did it because he hates it. And you know what? The thing is, I fucking hate him. But
You have to respect it. He's the Howie Roseman of the NBA.
And if he did that on the Sixers and he fucked over the Celtics, or if it was an old I'd respect the shit out of it. I respect it, but I hate it.
Jay Parr. So actually, I'm glad he brought this up. Jay Parr said, basketball's such a joke. The players run the show.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing with, well, first of all, Harden, all that shit. I want to go to Clippers. I'm going to go to Clippers. Well, the Clippers aren't willing. And now that whole thing with Lillard and the Blazers GM said, I'm not moving with him to Miami.
Miami's not giving up enough. I heard that
he's like, no, I'm not just giving him up just because he wants to go there. Kudos to both the Sixers on that front.
It's still early, but
to the Blazers. And the Sixers like, hey, we'll hold on. We don't care. We'll hold on to Harden until September if we have
Look what they did to with Simmons.
Right. And the Blazers GM's like, nah, I don't give a fuck if he wants to go to Miami or not. I don't need to trade him.
Right.
I'll hold on. I don't give a fuck. I'll hold on to him. Good for him.
Yeah.
It's about time that these GMs say, fuck this. Like, enough of this. We can't.
Not only are you demanding to be traded, but you're going to handpick the team you want to go to? Fuck you.
That's the NBA is a fucking joke. And I'm glad that they're finally saying, nah, you're not getting this. Sorry. Enough.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. I'm glad.
Yeah.
So good for them. Kudos. Cheers, you fucking.
But I don't think it makes me wonder more about the Sixers. And I just still don't have a lot of faith in them right now. Nothing about the Sixers has me all that excited.
Why did they get loud, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sure you can't wait, you fuckhead.
I can't believe that I got to talk the goalie situation, and I'm doing it tonight because fuck it.
I like it. So no, I like it. But why don't we do While You Were Drunk first?
Yeah, I mean,
and then we'll do the goalie situation to close out the show. Sound good?
I mean, it just sucks that it's just you. Like that's.
I know. Yeah. It's every fucking.
Anyway.
I know what's gonna happen. So it's either that or you're gonna drive him home. So would you rather have?
Yeah.
All right. So While You Were Drunk, guys, and then we'll do some Flyers talk, and then we'll go from there. While You Were Drunk, here we go.
I am not drunk, man. You're trying to make me drunk.
It's time to catch up on some things you may have missed.
Do you think a six-pack is acceptable?
While you were drunk.
I'm drunk and I love cats. What more do you need to know?
Andrew Painter, good news. So Andrew Painter, Phillies top prospect, got hurt. Hopes were he was going to make the rotation. He was having some elbow troubles.
Right.
And you're like, this isn't good. He got reevaluated. Doctor said, you're fine. Just take some more rest. No surgery, more rest. There are still hopes for him to be pitching this year.
The funny thing is, I just heard, and again, it's radio talk, and I didn't catch the whole story, but bits and pieces about the fact that people are like that the radio hosts were bitching that he only threw 30 pitches.
I didn't know about that, but I mean, in what sense? 30 pitches in his session?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that he's not going to be playing this year if you only throw 30 pitches at this point.
I don't think he's going to be pitching this year.
Right.
I think you at this point you're in July, August, September, October. You might as well shut him down and just let him whatever he's going through, let him go through, and then spring training next year, hopefully it's his debut. Think about it. All right. We are impatient because we want a young pitcher to solidify this starting rotation. Cole Hamels got in a bar fight.
That's right. Broke
his hand. Right. Cole Hamels debuted a little later than expected. Cole Hamels ended up becoming a really damn good pitcher and, NLCS World Series MVP or whatever. Take your time. It's baseball. Baseball is a marathon.
Yeah.
Let him just work it out. You don't want this guy rushing back, getting hurt. We're figuring it out. Dave Peterson just said it. Don't rush it. Don't rush pitching. It'll develop. Let it develop.
Yeah.
Dave, you just nailed on the head.
I just wonder if would Tommy John have been an option and should he have considered doing it? Because if he comes back next year and he re-injures it, now you got to do Tommy John, and now you lost him 2 years.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't. From the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like it's that extreme.
Okay.
It just sounds like it was just a bad strain. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a fucking doctor.
But either way, it's good.
I'm a fucking jerk off over it. What do you want from me? I'm a fucking jerk off.
going to be writing books and reading audio.
I don't like your jerk off name. I don't like your jerk off face. I don't like your jerk off behavior. And I don't like you. Jerk off.
So, I don't know how you guys feel about this. Barry Bonds has finally spoken out about the Hall of Fame.
It's been like 10 years.
He hasn't said a word.
Yeah.
He finally sounded off. He said, well, I want to know, back when I played, there was no rules. Why am I being punished? He said, I was taken to court. I was taken to civil court. I was taken to federal court. They couldn't find enough evidence against me to prove that I was guilty of anything. And yet, here I am being punished. Why? So, with that being said, I think this is going to be interesting. With that being said, does he have a point? He was never, and it's the truth. Roger Clemens too, Sammy Sosa too. Now, guys like fucking asshole McGuire's teammate, Canseco, who admitted, like, yeah, I took steroids.
Dykstra admitted it.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Barry Bonds never admitted to taking
McGuire admitted to taking at least creatine or
he took creatine.
Like that. Yeah.
McGuire said, I took creatine, blah, blah, blah. Look, McGuire, first of all, was a home run basher at, 21 in 1987. Like, that dude wasn't built like the way he was in 98. He was always crushing home runs.
Right.
So was Bonds. There is a part of natural talent that takes over.
Yeah.
There is a part of drugs that allows you to do it for longer. Was Barry Bonds able to hit 73 home runs at the age of 36 or whatever he was when he did it, when most human beings probably wouldn't have been able to do that? Nah, that's the thing. But was Bonds a Hall of Famer prior to that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he did he? You know what? Let's just say, did he cheat? Do you know for sure that he cheated? Can you put your hand, if you're a religious person, put your hand down on the Bible and say, yep, Barry Bonds cheated. I know it.
I mean, how can you know it unless, like, I'm 99.9% sure.
I am too.
I mean, the guy's head's huge. The
Dave
guy
Peterson said, fuck Bonds.
Well, yeah.
And right. I mean,
a guy was
most
a jerk
people
off
yeah.
and everything, but that's such a tough thing because baseball has all these different rules and all these different things. There's guys that took steroids that are in the Hall of Fame.
There's guys who kill people.
Well, yeah.
There's somebody who was the head of the KKK who's in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Roger Swansby is in the Hall of Fame. He was the head of the KKK.
Right.
His local chapter. Right. He's in the Hall of Fame. That's okay. Yeah, he didn't cheat the game, but he killed a bunch of people, or led to hating a bunch of people and burning stakes, and that's cool. That's
Right.
all right. That's all right. Though. Again.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not exactly apples to oranges.
I think Bond should get in. I think Clemens should get in.
I do think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. I do. Because he wasn't. It was never proven. Again, I agree with you, Mike.
He was too good. He was too good of a player, regardless of what he was taking.
Here's also the thing. MLB doesn't own the Hall of Fame. It's not like NFL. It's not like NBA. The MLB, Major League Baseball,
the writers.
Yeah, it's Cooperstown. It's a different entity. It's a completely different entity. So it doesn't have to be a thing where the MLB says, "Oh, this happened, A, B, and C."
Right.
Cooperstown went, we'll vote him in. It's a different thing. It's a
Right.
different animal. So Cooperstown, in that aspect, can turn around and go, "No, you guys broke the rules back then, And that's why these guys aren't getting in. MLB didn't have any rules exactly. No, but we know what happened. Like we can tell.
It's the hypocrisy of the MLB though is kind of where another reason why, like, they needed, after they went on strike, they needed the McGuire Sosa home run race. They encouraged it.
100%.
They turned a blind eye, knowing exactly what was happening, and wanted it to happen. But then, after it happened, the aftermath of it, now they're backing away and being
Just
like,
think about it.
Yeah.
Now, last year, Aaron Judge is a monster. What is he, 6'7"? The dude's a monster.
Yeah.
He broke Roger Maris's record. He broke the AL record, right? Oh, no. Well, Griffey did, right? Didn't Griffey have more? Did Griffey still have more than Aaron Judge last year? Well, Griffey, that same year in 98, did Griffey end up with more than Aaron Judge last year? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, Aaron Judge broke Roger Maris's record last year. But prior to that,
what do you have? He had 60.
He broke 62 last year.
Did he?
Yeah. Aaron Judge did. Yeah. Didn't he? Pretty sure he did. Yeah. He broke. Am I talking about an ass?
Maybe he did. Maybe I just wasn't. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did. So with that being said, though, yeah, breaks record. Yeah, he broke Rogers. Yeah, he had 62. Let me see. Yeah, he did over 62 last year.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, last year. So before that, you hadn't heard about anybody doing something like that post Bonds.
Right.
Hitting 73. He hit 73 that year.
Yeah.
No one has come close until last year. Again, Aaron Judge is a monster. No one's doubting that. No one came close to that. 98 was that crazy year with 3 players, Griffey, who no one accuses of doing it. No one has ever accused Ken Griffey Jr. of taking steroids. Same as Sosa did.
Yeah.
McGuire did. 2 years later, Bonds does 73. Did. Was accused. When I say did, I mean accused.
Is it possible that Griffey took steroids in that era?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised in that era.
Was it an anomaly? Maybe he did, but no one accuses Griffey of doing it.
Right. Maybe they should.
Good question.
They probably should.
Right? Griffey was.
I love Griffey. Don't get me wrong, but maybe.
Jay Sard, you're correct. I don't know what you're correct about. I forget. I missed that comment. It was 2 minutes ago. Peterson said all sports are the same. If it benefits the league, then it's okay. But if you piss someone off, then the league will screw you more.
Mm-hmm.
Screw you over. 100%.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened. And that's my argument with Cooperstown and the MLB is that they're not in bed with each other. I don't think anyway.
Right.
They're different entities. And Cooperstown goes, no, fuck MLB. No, you guys, I saw what happened there. No, you were good.
Mm.
That's why we're going to vote in guys like, Roberto Alomar, who, might have been a Hall of Famer. He was a great defense, second baseman.
Yeah.
Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. I don't know if Roberto Alomar's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, we go through it every year. We're like, all right.
Yeah. Does Paul Molitor deserve to be in over Barry Bonds?
Right.
Come on now, man. No.
Yeah, it's not close.
So, all right. So I just wanted to bring that up.
So I mean, he basically is saying that like he's pointing out the hypocrisy.
He finally sounded off, dude. That's the first time I've ever heard him.
You know what? The funny thing is that like the funny thing about it is Barry Bonds plays for San Francisco for years, sells out that stadium, makes that team billions of dollars. Yeah, it's good. You know what? Is there any of those hazes left? I just want to try one of the moon hazes. Okay, yeah, I'll try one. It's
a good brew.
Cool. So they sell out the stadiums.
Stop. Okay, keep doing it. Yeah.
I sure will keep drinking.
And And then all of a sudden, he retires,
Mhm.
and they remove his statue, and they completely turn his back.
I forgot about that.
Like the guy was like a savior.
Now, however, so I was there 2 years ago. I was in San Fran, and you walked out. I didn't go inside, but outside, his star's still there. They still have his plaque.
Yeah,
they still have his plaque there. Hit his home run that broke Hank Aaron's record. And you walk a little further down, there's another plaque. This is where he hit his, whatever home run, whatever it was. There's still stars in cement blocks inside the right field wall, outside the right field wall, right before the bay.
Yeah,
there are still blocks out there. Yeah, beautiful park, AT&T.
Yeah, I was in there. I watched the
Great.
game in there. Yeah,
beautiful ballpark.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, the bay's cool. I went in December, so there was no baseball going on.
Yeah,
there could have been. The weather was nice enough, but yeah. I'm going to Seattle though. I'm going to see a game in that ballpark.
Oh, nice.
On Thursday next week.
So no show next.
No show Friday.
No show Friday.
I'll be in
Okay.
Seattle. Yeah, I'm
All right.
seeing the Twins take on the Mariners. I'll get
Nice.
to see Rodriguez or whatever the fuck his name is. The fucking kid hit 41 home runs in the home run derby last week.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I got to see him, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, that should be cool.
Yeah, it's a nice ballpark from what I've seen. So
Yeah, I'm. Seattle's somewhere I definitely want to visit.
it was on my bucket list.
Yeah.
It's one on my bucket list for sure.
Uh,
Big grunge fan, man. I want to
yeah, that'll be cool
I
too.
want to see the sights. I'm going to the museum. I'm going to see Kurt Cobain's house.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that. While you were drunk, Richard Sherman. Speaking of Seattle, big Seattle Seahawk quarterback, long-time Hall of Famer, right?
Well, no, not a Hall of Famer.
Well, he will be a Hall of Famer.
The thing is that like I seen somebody that kind of questioned it.
Richard Sherman, Hall of Famer. Did he win 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah, they want to.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. He was a shutdown. He's listed as top 15 cornerbacks of all time. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
He may not have been the best cornerback on that team.
He might not have been, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like I just
Okay.
yeah.
He probably should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I would look at his. Well, I mean. it's
Well,
all
here you go.
quarterbacks, But
There you go. Dave Peterson, Hall of Fame popularity contest through and through. Richard Sherman will be a Hall of Famer because of that.
really,
I think so. A lot of people liked him, dude. Like he was
even after like I thought he was a big mouth and kind of a jerk off, and then he had all that stuff happen like with his the criminal stuff and the.
They don't care about that. NFL don't care about that. Ray Lewis is in the Hall of Fame. Ray Lewis killed a fucking guy.
Allegedly.
Yep, just like Barry Bonds allegedly used steroids.
Well, Marvin Harrison allegedly killed a guy too.
Didn't he own a car wash or something? Is that what that was about?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's from Philly, though.
All right. Then it's all right then.
Yeah, everyone killed somebody.
All right.
Richard Sherman apparently decided to retire during a game.
Yes.
He's taking on the Eagles when Devontae Smith ran a route on him. The Eagles' Devontae Smith ran a route, and he went, yeah, I can't fucking do this anymore.
They're too fast. Please, God, don't let them catch it.
How awesome is that? Devontae Smith blew him out of the water.
Skinny, like slippery little fuck.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't hang with these young boys anymore. And he said, BOIS, boys. Young
Yeah,
boys.
and then he was talking about like, please don't throw it to him or something as he was like chasing him down. And
Oh
stuff.
shit. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I can't keep up. I'm done. So, and he did. He quit after that. How about that, man?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good story.
Devontae, by the way, could be a good
Love me some
fantasy.
Devontae.
Could be a fantasy asset this year, third year in the league.
Hey, that was a good draft. I mean, Chase Waddle's good too.
Waddle's
Waddle's
very
pretty good.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts is the only one that kind of didn't.
Yeah.
I guess he's all right, or like he's been a disappointment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Atlanta sucks.
He disappointed me. I know that. I
Yeah,
had
well.
2 years in fantasy as a keeper. So yeah. There he is. Devontae Smith right there. Phillip Rivers, staying on the football thing. Phillip Rivers is expecting his 10th child.
Yeah, that's
Giggity.
nice. You know who else is expecting
giggity.
multiple
Why don't you try
children?
getting jacked off under the table in
Multiple
front of the whole damn
childs?
family?
Who's
He's expecting he's accepting multiple childs.
Who's
Bunch of childs.
Yeah, a bunch of childs.
Who?
You know who else has a bunch of childs?
Who?
Josh Jacobs.
Oh yeah.
Bunch of childs.
Yeah, how about that whole thing?
8? He's a lot younger than Rivers.
Dude, he's like 23.
He's got a lot younger than Rivers.
He's like 20, or he's like 25. He's like 25 years old. He's got 8 kids already, and he's holding out. He needs more money because he got to pay the child support.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, bunch of childs.
Bunch of childs.
He's got a bunch of childs.
Bunch of childs.
We might have to call this show "Bunch of Childs."
He has a bunch of kids.
Bunch of childs.
So Josh, do one more time.
Bunch of childs.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that.
Beating a dead horse.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now you got to figure out a way to shoot the horse and then find something beating them, and put the two of them together.
I'll figure something out.
And it'd be beating a dead horse. I had an epiphany.
You know that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you still need a stepladder to fuck it in the end.
How about that? Is that good?
No, we got to do better. We'll work on it.
All right, I'll figure it out. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. 10 kids.
Yeah.
I have 2.
Mhm.
I can't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. You also don't have money to pay like
That's
maids and shit.
That's true too. You think he yells at them all the time? Because he fucking yelled a lot on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking angry and shit, yelling at them.
Probably never sees them.
Mm.
That's why he's played football like Tom Brady. Tom
Yeah,
Brady
just-
was home 2 weeks. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck
He
this.
just shows up on Sundays, taking him to church. Fucking Christian weirdo. They're all fucking weirdos. All them fucking Bible thumpers. Oh, let's have as many kids as we can. Fucking take him in a white van down to the church on Sundays and fucking not have enough food. Let's cut the orange juice with some water. You know, because God forbid we can't afford a fucking gallon of orange juice. Let's cut that in half. That's what they do. Fucking assholes.
Probably.
Fuck religion and fuck politics.
Jesus.
Fuck them both. All right, let's move on.
This took a turn.
A man was surfing on Australia. This is fucking insane, dude. I read this and I was like, oh my God, I got to bring this up for the show. Oh, come on. Where's my goddamn? Here we go. I got it. A man was surfing in Australia. And all of a sudden, his buddy's like, yo, man, you're bleeding. There's a fucking fish in your nose.
My eyes!
Dude. He had a robust garfish, which is a crazy fish with a spear, like a spear nose, impaled through his nose. Like he went through a wave and this fucking fish, like he felt something. He felt a pinch. He didn't know what it was. He thought it was just a wave hit him hard. He came up. This fucking fish is hanging off his nose. This like 6-pound fish with a fucking spear. It was like this, they pulled the thing out. It was like this long.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude,
Is he all right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Fuck.
Yeah, he said it was gnarly, dude.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, I don't know what he said, but he probably sounded like Tom Petty when he said it. Oh, that fucking hurt, man. So, so local story. Ben Salem kid, 21-year-old, was arrested this week. 15 pounds of weed was found in his car and $120,000 in cash.
Damn.
He's facing major time. Despite the fact that weed's
almost
almost
legal.
legal, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I read something about this. I'm like, all right, like, you know, it's almost like.
Yeah, he was caught. He was caught and got audio.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
They called him, and this kid, blonde hair. You know, you can tell that motherfucker has rich parents.
Yeah.
fluffy blonde hair, and he's like
Mm-hmm.
$120,000 in cash. 22 years old.
Yeah.
$120,000 in cash, 15 pounds of weed. He's facing like 60 years in jail.
Yeah.
He's not. Come on, he's not going to get that. Like, let's be honest.
Especially with his, the rich parents and shit.
Peterson said, "Do I take it out or I leave it in? Like, what? I don't know. Like, what?
You talking about the thing, the fish, or what?
Oh, he's talking about the fish. Yeah, I think I was talking about the kid.
Why? Because he has blonde hair. Like
Yeah.
you're starting to kind of.
No. Actually, I was thinking like, do I take the money? That's what I was thinking. If I was a cop.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Jesus, Christ, we're all over the place on that.
I know. Yeah, I was all over. All right, finally, the Phillies schedule. Actually, the Phillies' full schedule has been announced for next year.
I don't like it.
March 28th.
Get some Braves.
March
Starting the season,
28th at home. You don't like the beer?
No.
I don't either.
No, you said it was good.
No, I don't like that beer.
You said, no, it's good.
Let me see that one.
This?
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, that I like. You don't like that one?
No.
No, there was another one. There was some other hazy IPA one, the light one. I didn't like that one. I thought that's the one you had. I'm sorry. So you don't like the Blue Moon Haze?
No.
You finished it though.
No.
Oh, you have a full glass. You don't like it?
I'm trying to gulp it down as quick as possible.
Has a bad taste to it.
Yeah.
It's
I
got
like
a kick. It's got a kick. It's only a 5.4.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's not strong. It's just got a bad
kick.
aftertaste.
It's got a kick to it. Yeah. So that's what I got for While You Were Drunk.
Okay.
That's it. Phillies play the Braves. Home opener, Citizens Bank Park, March 28th. Early.
Kind of cool.
But against the Braves. That's cool. Yeah. I like it. So, yeah. So, Mike, you got an interesting story to close out the show tonight.
Yeah.
I am interested to hear this because anyone that's a Flyers fan, lock in here because we want to see what this situation here is with the goalies.
Yeah.
The Flyers have drafted a few and signed a few, and Carter Hart's still on the team.
Okay, so credit where it's due. Philly voice, Nick Tricome wrote the story.
I heard he read it. I heard he wrote.
motorboat?
No, I heard he wrote this in his basement.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
He does look like.
We want it now!
I gotta say.
Good for you!
He does look
Ma,
like.
the meatloaf!
All right, so
Fuck!
the article is titled "You Can Never Have Too Many," and look at the Flyers' goaltending depth prospect pipeline.
Okay.
Obviously, you never can have too many is the quote from Danny Briere. So yeah, I mean, it's just talking about it. It starts out talking about the fact that the Flyers drafted the 2 goalies in the second, third round. They traded into the second round to get the goalie, and then took one in the third round. And it's basically like, all right, well, they're rebuilding and trying to keep the cupboard full. You never know what can happen. The general manager said, he said, it talks about the fact that if all these guys are hitting, then, we have a nice problem to have. Carter Hart was a little different. He developed early. Most of these guys don't. So if you're playing a long game, they're not going to be ready for a couple years.
True. And you need you're going to need one of them in the next 2 years to develop. Honestly, if you
keep thinking that Carter Hart's gone.
I do.
Right.
I don't want him to be.
Right.
I don't want him to be. I think he's gone. In
Right.
2 years. I think he's gone. Yeah.
And then there's Kolosov, a 21-year-old third rounder from the 2021 draft. Anyway, so here's where it gets interesting. So here's where it goes through the level of each of them. Then it breaks it down. So the NHL, they have Carter Hart, 24, signed restricted free agent in 2024. Cal Peterson is 28, unrestricted free agent in 2025. So you're on the hook for him for 2 years. That's the guy that they got as part of taking on more salary when they traded Provorov. Sandstrom, 26-year-old, unrestricted free agent next year, making under $1 million. Then in the AHL, they have Urson, 23 years old.
That was a recent re-sign too, I think, right?
He's restricted free agent in 2024. So, I mean, they have a little bit of control with him.
Yeah. Okay.
We talked about Kolosov. He's in the KHL, 21 years old. Restricted free agent in 2026. Fedotov is the 26-year-old that's who's staying over, right. And then there's Bjarnson, who's in the Canadian juniors. He's 18, drafted in 2023. I think that was the first guy that they drafted. Then Zavragan, 17 years old.
Yep.
He's the one that they drafted in the third round.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody that was drafted in 2015, Tomek. He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's in the ALH, the Czech Republic.
I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, that's
ship
ship
is
is
sailed.
sailed.
Yeah.
So that gives you a rundown of the guys that they have, and then it just talks a little bit about the player. So I'll go through trade bug goes, the lingering Hockey Canada, Hart, rumor mill. It's cleared up a little bit. It says that like it's more than likely he's going to stay here this year now, since they didn't trade him during the draft. Briere said the Flyers would listen, weren't looking to give him away, but at least would listen. So it says that they took Peterson to dump the salary. So I talked about that in the Provorov deal. So they're going to be stuck with him. It's also going to determine what happens to Sandstrom and Urson. Sandstrom is the last of his 2-year deal, converts into a one-way season and guarantees his NHL salary regardless. He didn't impress much. So Sandstrom is basically not that good. He had an .880 save percentage through 20 games in 18 starts. He was bad.
Right.
Urson did hold up pretty well, had an .899 save percentage in 12 games, and looks like he's younger, has plenty of room. So he's got some promise. And then it talks about Kolosov. He's in the KHL. Going to stay in the KHL this season. Bjarnson and Zavai will continue to develop. Both have their options for the future. At least another year for a couple of these guys. And then a chance they all hit, blah, blah, blah. Tomek, 3rd round pick in 2015 when Hextall was his GM. Draft right, he's unsigned, probably a long shot to be at this point, right?
26 years old now, still in the CEHL.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Fedotov, the ship may have sailed. He was forced into being the Russian military 2015. And then he wanted to leave the KHL, but they're upholding his contract. So, that's kind of where they stand. So I thought it was interesting though, because the reason I was interested in this story is because when you brought up that they drafted a goaltender, the first thing that Ryan said is they got a ton of them. I was like, all right, so who do they truly have as prospects? So I wanted to read up on that.
Who are the ones that are real prospects?
Right. So Sandstrom looks like he's not that good. Urson maybe has some promise. The other guy's just a salary filler.
The two this year, you don't know.
Right. Fedotov is maybe he never even comes over.
Right.
So I don't know if they necessarily have as much goaltending depth as it would seem. Maybe it was the good move. After reading that, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so the two kids they drafted this year, I have no problem. I said this when they had the draft.
Even if they have Carter Hart.
Right. Like, first of all, you can always use another goalie, right? You can always use a solid backup. If one of those guys ends up being at best a solid backup, great.
Yeah.
Great job, because you need that. Like, your starting goalie can't play all 82 games anyway.
Right.
So let's just say Carter Hart is.
And you figured it's a coin flip at best on all these guys.
Yeah,
anyway.
Carter Hart's Marty Brodeur, and we all thought he could be, and I'm not saying he's not and he can't be, but I'm just saying let's just say in that position that he is. You still need a solid backup goaltender.
I think in the article he talked about the fact that Carter Hart is good to great, but he's not exceptional. He's not the top echelon goaltender.
Not yet. He's still young.
He's still young.
He's still young.
Yeah.
But let's just I'm just
yeah
theoretically saying, let's just say he's Marty Brodeur. You still need a solid backup to get you another 5, 6, 7, 8 wins during the season.
Right.
So I have no problem with them doing that anyway. Let's say
both of them seemed a little extreme, but maybe one hits, one doesn't.
In this case where, and again, and we've had this conversation after talking to Jason Martinez recently, when he expressed that the fact that Carter Hart has told the team, I should say, that he does not want to be part of the long rebuild and that he wants to enter his prime ready to win.
Right.
Which he's starting. He's getting his mid-20s now. I think that the brass said that, okay, all right, well, let's prep ourselves. And I have no problem with them going out and drafting 2 goalies in a row. Like, it's like pitching.
All right.
My opinion. Pitching, quarterbacks, goalies are the most 3 important, and point guards. Right?
Yeah.
Are the 4 of the major sports. Those are the most important parts of your teams.
Yep.
And you can never have enough, in my opinion. You look at it. Sixers have been trying to find it. They have James Harden. They lose James Harden. I guess Maxi's your point guard. Is he your true point guard? No one knows.
Right.
Jalen Hurts goes down.
You're screwed.
You're screwed. Zach Wheeler, Aaron Ola go down. You're screwed. Carter Hart goes down. You're screwed. So I had no problem.
Well, the Flyers are screwed anyway, but at least
but if let's
maybe
just
the
say
Sixers. Anyway.
So, you're in that position. I have no problem with that. So in that aspect, I don't think you can have too many cooks in the kitchen, especially when you're talking about young prospects. When you can bring
these guys are young, they're 17 and 18.
Yeah, like you don't know, like
they're 6 years. They're 6 years from where Carter Hart is now at 24. 6 and 7 years.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. So I mean, you don't know where Carter Hart's going to be in 6 or 7 years. Like,
yeah, right, exactly. That's good.
So
that's crazy to think about, but yeah, that's true.
So yeah, like I said, I mean, I thought it was just interesting because I mean, we've been talking about the goaltenders and
it's not as big of a blow up as it seems, because a couple of guys are kind of done.
Yeah, you got a couple of guys that are kind of done. The phenom, the Fedotov phenom that everybody's talking about, like he's a little bit, There's a lot of uncertainty with him too. So yeah. So
no,
Ryan,
good.
if you're listening,
no, that's good. That's good. Again, I just don't think you can have enough. I have no problem with what they did. I have no problem with what they're doing so far. They let. Oh, by the way, I want to mention this, and while you were drunk, I forgot. Tony DeAngelo was let go. Basically, like, fuck you, you're done. Like, cut him. They just cut him.
Right.
He didn't play the last 5 or 6 games of the season. They just, good luck. Go find another team.
And they had a trade in for him, and it didn't work out. And now he's
gone.
They cut him.
Gone.
They got nothing for him.
Nope.
They just flat out cut him.
Yep.
They couldn't make a deal, so they cut him.
Yep.
For nothing.
Yes.
The guy that they like the guy that like they couldn't get the Johnny Hockey for, right? They went with this guy instead of Johnny Hockey, right? Basically,
ultimately, because of the draft picks they gave up to get for DeAngelo. You could have given up some of those draft picks and signed for a little extra money. You could have got Johnny Hockey. Instead, you got Tony DeAngelo, who
you cut after 1 year.
Was
and
an asshole.
Nobody.
Who, by the way, was an asshole before he came here.
Right.
Who was in constant trouble on the ice, getting in stupid
But
scrub.
this fucking guy loved him.
Did he?
Loved the deal.
Did he really?
Said he was gritty and because he loves the Flyers.
I don't remember him saying that. I don't remember Gary saying that. I remember I remember the bulk of. I don't remember Gary liking it. I remember all of us going, "You got him instead of Johnny Hockey. You got this fucking guy instead of." I remember I remember being irate about it when he got him. I remember that. I don't remember Gary. I don't remember Gary liking.
I thought Gary was happy with it because he was, because you know how Gary is with the Flyers.
Yeah,
I remember him being, he's.
I can't say either way.
He's that gritty guy. He's going to be that guy that's going to, I'm pretty sure that's where he went with that.
All right, I can't say either way.
Okay.
I don't remember. I just remember being pissed. I remember being fuming about it. Like, I can't believe you did this for this asshole.
So what happened to Chuck Fletcher when he came in? He had a good pedigree, didn't he? Like, how does somebody like fuck it up to where like guys like us are like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing?
Same thing as Colangelo, man. Like, you bring Colangelo, who has this big pedigree.
My dad had a theory about that. He thinks that
he was set up to come here.
He not only was he set up to come here, but he was set up to basically
destroy the team.
Right, that he was basically set up that he almost.
There's a lot of people who think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad's not the only one, dude.
That he basically was set in to torpedo it on purpose. And the fake accounts and everything else.
Oh yeah, dude. That Adam Silver kind of set it up and said, "Enough of this tanking shit. Blow it up."
Yeah, this is your.
We
penalty.
want them to fail.
Yeah, this is your punishment for it.
There's a lot of people who think that.
Yeah.
I can't say it's not true. The way that things went,
it was weird.
Yeah. Eric Jr., the Eric Jr. account, all that weird shit that happened. Yeah. So,
anyway.
But all right. Did I have a song to play this out with? I think I did.
Well,
I did.
You're gonna call back and play Private Eyes.
What's that?
You're gonna call back and play Private Eyes.
No. Oh, I could do that. Now, that's a new song from Baroness, Philly based band.
Oh yeah.
Big shout out to Gina Gleason. Used to play for the Miss Talca, aka Clit Talca. She is in Baroness. The second album's coming out with Gina, I should say. Second album with Gina is coming out in September.
Nice.
Probably their fucking 9th album or something. Baroness has been out for a little while, man.
Okay.
This is good shit. So, guys, we had a great time tonight. Good sports topics. Hey, big shout out to Sean Nam. Sean Nam has joined us again. Check out his book, Murder on Federal Street. Really, really good book. Again, you want to find out more about the Tyrone Everette story, South Philly boxer, late 70s, coming up through the ranks, competing for the championship, got screwed over. Why did he get screwed over for that belt? It's a clear rig. And then why was he murdered 3 months later? What happened? It's an interesting story. So I found it to be very interesting. I felt that the way he wrote it and the research he did was fantastic.
Nice.
Check it out. Murder on Federal Street by Sean Nam. Check it out. Thank him so much for joining us tonight. It was fun. Gary, thanks for getting your Uber early, you cocksucking fuck. Dickhead. Mike, thanks, man. It was fun tonight, dude.
Yeah, man. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
I missed you guys.
And guess what? We're off next week.
Yeah.
No show next week, guys. No show next week. I will be in Seattle in the rain. And then we'll be back the following week. I think the following week, Kyle from BrownTown will be joining us.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think he'll be joining us. So we'll see what
Right,
happens.
dude.
Jay, thank you. Dave Peterson, thank you. Jay Peterson wrote a big thing here. Good night, gentlemen. Have a great week. Be safe and enjoy your every moment. Another great show tonight for sure. Corner Puff Sports number 3. Number 3 in your program. Number 1 in your hearts. See everybody in 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Jay, thank you.
Did we move up? We moved up from number 4 to number 3?
Oh, we're number 3.
Yeah, we moved from 4 to 3.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's right. You weren't here.
Yeah.
We're number 3 now.
Yeah. I've seen the post. That's awesome.
We're above like some John Clark or someone.
Jesus.
We're only behind like the Philly Blitz, who I gotta be honest. Hey, hats off to you. Never heard of you. I'm sorry. And then number 2 is the Philly NBC Sports Philadelphia podcast.
Jesus.
The Phillies
Yeah.
podcast. That's
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. So, all right, guys. We will see you guys next week. You know what? I'm gonna stay on the live thing here for a second. We'll do some boner coverage. But the podcast will end in a second. It's been fun. See you guys.
Get us out.
All right, boner coverage. This song here.
Yeah.
All right, boner coverage podcast is over. We're just live. It's interesting, dude. Like, he's never.
It is kind of cool.
He's never talked during his verses before. It's interesting. And then Gina sings all the backups.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a girl, though.
Well, that's him there. You can barely hear her. Like,
Yeah.
She doesn't, though. She has has like a, that kind of do a solo going on here.
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy.
It has a.
You know what's cool about that, though? James Hetfield, Metallica, big fan of Baroness.
Nice.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, so, which is weird, full circle. So the guitarist for Baroness, Gina, the first time I saw her was like 2011.
I remember going to see him.
Yeah, that's right. We were at New Hope or something.
Yeah.
Metallica. They used to be known as Cliptalica. And they weren't it was an all-female
cover band.
Metallica
Yeah,
cover band.
they stuck to the older Metallica. Anything Black Album or after, they kind of
they did early
thumb their
stuff.
nose at.
But they had to change their name to Metallica instead of Cliptalica because they weren't getting gigs anymore.
Yeah.
Because people were like,
That's disgusting. Yeah.
Dave Boner.
Yeah.
I love boner coverage.
Boner coverage with Metallica?
Yeah, I like that. Because, basically, like, they're like, we're not booking you with that title.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to Gina, like, after the show, and I'm like, fuck, like, she had the Cliff Burton hair, and she played lead, and she played rhythm, and she sang. I'm like,
yeah,
you're fucking, like, you're amazing. Their drummer was, like, 18.
Yeah.
Remember, she was young. So, and I remember just, like, being kind of blown away, and I'm like, damn, like, you can fucking play.
No, they're not good looking.
Gina's good looking.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gina's a good looking girl.
Okay.
I thought they were all.
Really?
I thought so.
Okay.
I don't remember it. I remember Drummer just being young, but
okay.
I thought Gina was a good looking girl.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe just maybe to turn you off. She's wearing a tank top. She's wearing the short sleeves and she's fucking jamming. I don't know. That turned me on though.
I would have thought like I
play her fucking G chord.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool. All right.
No, but all kidding aside, Baroness and good for them, man. I dude. So here's the crazy story. So Gina plays for this Metallica tribute band. She leaves. She joins Vegas. She goes to Vegas and plays the Cirque du Soleil Michael Jackson show.
Interesting.
She's the lead guitarist for the Michael Jackson tribute show. She's playing all, she's playing Eddie Van Halen's shit for Beat It. She's playing all that. She's playing guitar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then all of a sudden, like Baroness got in an accident and fucking people died. Like kind of like
Jesus.
Yeah, like two. No, I'm sorry. They didn't die. I'm sorry. They didn't die. They got badly injured. The bass player and their guitar player, I think, got badly injured or something crazy. And then it was like, hey, we want to announce our new guitar player, Gina Gleason. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I wrote to her immediately. I'm like,
oh, you had her on.
Yeah, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I fucking love Baroness. Like, this is She's like, no way. She's like, you've heard of? I'm like, I fucking love them. Like, this is insane.
That's awesome.
I'm on my previous job. I'm on Facebook, and I see this dude who's he's one of our software guys. I see him commenting shit on Baroness's page. I'm like, this guy's like in his 50s. I'm like, there's no fucking like what?
Right.
I'm like, I've read him on the side. I'm like, dude, like you're in. He goes, yeah, dude, I'm in the Grand Metal, dude. I love this band. I'm like, I fucking know. Like, I've been in this band for like fucking 8 years, and
That's awesome.
I know the guitar player. Just no fucking way, dude. So even after that, we still had a weird relationship because, like, we would talk. So he's actually the one to introduce me to the band The Ocean.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like,
no shit.
you gotta check this band out. And I was, dude, immediately.
So this is that Titus, right?
Tinius, yeah.
Tinius.
Immediately, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? What is this band? And then I turn around and go, yo, listen to this band. And I turn Ancients,
Yeah.
the band, the shirt I'm wearing, Ancients. Yo, check this band out. He's a little too thrash metal for me. I'm more into the prog rock. I'm like, oh, that's cool, like whatever.
Yeah.
But then we, back and forth, and forth. And yeah, it's weird though. I would see him every day, and like he would barely, hey man, but
Yeah.
yeah, on Facebook, it's like, hey, you going to that show? I'm like,
that's weird.
yeah, why don't you just fucking ask me that? So anyway, hope he's watching Boner Coverage. Was it a good show, guys? I don't know who's still watching. I don't know, a couple people are still watching the Boner Coverage. I thought it was a good podcast tonight. That was cool, man. Sean was a good guest, man. Sean Nam was a good guest.
I thought he was
a little slow spoken.
Yeah, I thought he was a little delayed. Not like a energetic.
He's a writer, man.
Yeah.
He's gotta think about what he has to say.
Yeah.
No, I agree. He maybe he's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I did say you want to be on video, and he's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
just do phone. All right, maybe I don't know. Maybe there's a reservations there, but I thought he was good. And again, it's hard because I read the book and I was like, shit, man, I don't know how to start this off. Like, there's so many things to get to. I'm like, how about this?
So I mean, like, who's still listening? I mean, what did you guys think now that we're kind of off the?
I don't know who's still listening. I don't know. Maybe nobody. Because I asked the guy a couple minutes. I got great show, guys. I got that a couple minutes ago, about 10 minutes ago. That was the last thing I got. All right, maybe we should just call it. All right. Boner Covered is gonna limp off.
There you go.
Right. Boner Covered.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. If anybody is still watching, thank you guys so much.
All right.
YouTube, Twitter, Threads, Facebook. Thank you guys.
All right.
See yous.